From our studios here at Northridge in Accra. Today is the 25th day of May 2026 and it is observed as the African Union Day. Today on Metro TV we're bringing to you a conversation about something that is very pressing and important to all of us: water and sanitation. And so today we have assembled industry stakeholders and a lot of experts in the space to join us here to have a conference, a mini conference on this. And if you've been watching us, you know that we've been committed driving the awareness and the education on water and sanitation on our channel. And so today we're going to have a very beautiful conversation that will make an impact in our society. My name is Desmond Okoreku-Danswan. This program is live on DSTV channel 277. We're also live across our social media platforms on Facebook, Metro TV Ghana, also on YouTube. You can join us live on there and definitely share your thoughts with us here as I'll read them when the show progresses. We're going to take the opening prayer for this mini conference, and Derek Adote is standing by to do that for us. Hello, Derek.
Hello, Desi. Thank you very much. Let us pray. Awesome Father, we are grateful for this morning. We thank you for the gift of life. David said the other day, I slept and I woke because the Lord kept me. The Lord was with me. And so, Father, we are grateful. We thank you for this meeting, for bringing us together to discuss such a pertinent issue. We pray that you will help our conversation. The Bible says, lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge that it is God, and he shall direct your course. We pray that direct this conversation at the end of the day, that solutions will come. That at the end of the day, the conclusions we come to will bring transformation in the sector. In Jesus' name we pray with thanksgiving. Let us.
Given us the opening prayer, we're going to take the welcome address, and this will be done by the Managing Director of the Ignite Media Group, Klaus Von.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, viewers, all protocol observed, good morning and welcome to the Metro TV Watch Conference. Metro TV is a member of the Ignite Media Group. Today is Africa Union Day in 2026, and it's also the day Metro TV hosts the mini Watch Conference. At Metro TV, Watch isn't a side project. It's a part of our brand identity. We believe media should do more than report on development. It should drive it. That's why we're using our platform to push water, sanitation, and hygiene to the front of public conversations this year. The challenge is clear. They need themselves. That's the energy we need to amplify. Today's conference is about cutting through the noise. We are here for let us remember this on every African Union Day. A prosperous Africa starts with healthy people, and healthy people start with clean water and dignified sanitation. Thank you all and welcome to today's AU Day Watch Conference. Viewers, stay with us and watch the deliberations. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Klaus von Backenstein, who is the managing director of the Ignite Media Group. And as he says, we use our platform to profess solutions for the problems we're looking at. And of course, for 2026, the African Union declared it as assuring sustainable water availability and safe sanitation systems to achieve the goals of Agenda 2063. And this theme highlights a very critical reality: without safe water and proper sanitation, Africa's vision for economic growth and good health, food security, and also sustainable development cannot be fully achieved. And so that is why we're having this AU Day Media Conference on water and sanitation. It's going to be a very, very great session here where we'll look at the problems and also find some solutions to them right here. So stay with us. We're taking a break. We'll be back shortly to continue.
Modern ambition pace. There is no margin for error. So much here is familiar.
Over 1,900 games brought us here.
There is not a sporting heat quite like this.
But history doesn't care about the journey.
The Premier League is the best league in the world.
La Liga is far and beyond the biggest winner.
It only remembers how it ends.
You bottle it. There's no other word. You bottle it.
8 titles. 1 month of mayhem to decide them all.
Outstanding from Patrick Dorgan.
Stay connected and watch GoTV to catch the football season finale this May. It's on.
Changing, so should you. If you're dreaming, don't be afraid. And in the valleys, keep your head up high. Dare to dream with Puma drinks. Puma, Puma. Yeah, believe it, you can achieve. Puma, Puma. Oh yeah, clap your hands for the whole new vibe. Make we set the Puma. Oh yeah, come alive. Puma, Puma. Let me hear you.
Puma drinks, a whole new vibe. Another quality product from Casa Precon.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Hi, my name is Ochame Kwame, the rap doctor, and all I'm saying is, during this World Cup, make Metro TV, Original TV, and Original FM your official amazing production houses to watch all your tidbits, your behind the scenes, and get authentic news about the Black Stars and all the World Cup, and enjoy. Tune in. Ochame Kwame, salute.
Catch every moment loud and live on Metro TV, Original TV, and Original 91.9 FM. The world is coming to North America. 48 teams, 16 cities, 104 games, 3 nations, 1 dream. The 2026 FIFA World Cup is here. Catch every moment loud and live on Metro TV, Original TV, and Original 91.9 FM.
Excellencies, distinguished partners, ladies and gentlemen, water is life. Sanitation is dignity. Yet, over 400 million of Africans do not have access to clean drinking water, and above 700 million still do not have access to improved sanitation. Yet these are basic human rights. Too many families still walk long distances to fetch water. Too many children miss school because of unsafe sanitation. Too many communities are pushed back into poverty each time droughts or floods strike. This must change. That is why the African Union Commission has declared 2026 as the year of assuring sustainable water availability and safe sanitation systems to achieve the goals of Agenda 2063. This theme is a statement of intent and a promise to the people of Africa. Water and sanitation are not just services. They are the foundation of health, of education, for jobs, regional cooperation, and resilience. When we invest in water, we invest in women, girls, and the whole community. When we ensure safe sanitation, we protect dignity and opportunities. When we build climate-resilient water systems, we secure Africa's future. Africa has the vision. Africa has the solutions. What is needed now is collective action. Through this theme, we're calling on governments, communities, faith leaders, the youth, the private sector, civil society, and development partners to act together, to turn commitments into delivery and policies into impact. Implementation policies should lead the water and sanitation theme of 2026 agenda for better livelihoods for all, leaving no one behind. As an African proverb reminds us, if you want to go far, go together. Let 2026 be the year we go far together. Together, let us secure water for life, sanitation for dignity, and economic opportunities for all Africans. In doing so, we advance Agenda 2063, the Africa we want.
The conference, this is the AU Day Media Conference here on Metro TV, and we're back in here. Now, across the continent, millions of people still struggle daily to access clean drinking water and adequate sanitation facilities, while climate change continues to intensify. Droughts, floods, water insecurity. Yet, amid these challenges, several African countries are making significant progress on that, and we'll get to understand all of that later in this conference, where we have a presentation by the boss at World Vision on the show, so stay tuned for that. We're going to take a message from Sophia Kujoji, and she is Chief Corporate Communications Officer at the Jospon Group of Companies, and she's here with us. Thank you very much, ma'am, for joining us. This is a very beautiful day. Let's appreciate her. Right. It's always a pleasure to see you. Thank you so much for coming on this media conference on water and sanitation. This is something that I know is dear to your heart. What can you tell us?
Thank you very much, Derek. Distinguished viewers and colleagues in the studio. Africa's challenge is not a lack of potential. It is more of a crisis of systems, broken down systems that leave waste choking our drains, contaminating our water sources, and spreading preventable diseases across communities that deserve far better. Today, as we gather here under the urgent call of Agenda 2063 of AU, we must be clear: the battle for sustainable water and sanitation cannot be won without confronting the waste crisis that sits at its very heart. The data before us is sobering. Africa generates 125 million tons of municipal waste annually, a figure that will nearly double to 244 million tons by 2050. Less than 10% of plastics are recycled across the continent, and the World Meteorological Organization warns that climate-related water stress could displace up to 700 million people on this continent by 2030. And yet, the World Bank reminds us that poor water and waste governance already cost some regions of up to 6% of economic growth annually. We are paying dearly already in our lives, in our livelihoods, and in lost futures for the absence of sustainable systems. But I'm happy to say that Jospon Group brings a hope to us, as Jospon's model, our three-step approach: build modern integrated waste systems, provide sustainable financing models, and operate under a public-private partnerships, has already transformed waste management in Ghana, where we run over 36 treatment facilities, manage 6 wastewater treatment plants, and maintain over 2,500 collection vehicles across the nation. To the glory of God, we are making inroads into Kenya and Nigeria and about some 25 African countries. Our work directly addresses the African Union theme for the year, which is ensuring sustainable water availability and safe sanitation systems to achieve the goals of Agenda 2063, which provides a timely and urgent call to action. A call to action across Africa. Blocked drains overflow into water resources or water sources, and treated liquid waste treatment contaminates groundwater. Inadequate sanitation infrastructure is why cholera, typhoid, and waterborne diseases remain killers even in 2026. Every ton of waste we collect, treat, and recycle is a direct investment in Africa's water security. Every wastewater treatment plant we build is a sanitation system that protects a community. Every young person we employ, and we have created over 200,000 jobs, direct and indirect, is a future engineer, technician, and steward of this continent's environment. We also stand at the frontier of climate accountability. Our plants are now registered for carbon market trading, and so we call on African governments to at the continental level and other continental institutions, development partners, and fellow private sector leaders to join us in building the systems Africa deserves. The financing models exist. The technology is proven. The local expertise is here. What we need now is the political will, the institutional frameworks, and the bold partnerships to scale what works. Agenda 2063 tells us this is the Africa we want: prosperous, clean, climate resilient, and self-sufficient. Africa does not need to be saved. Africa needs to be resourced. And Jospon Group of companies is proof that when we invest in African solutions, Africa delivers. Let us kill what works, and let us do that now. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Madam Sophia Kujoji, Chief Corporate Communications Officer for the Jospon Group. And Agenda 2063 tells us that this is the Africa we want, and that is a call to action for all of us. I have lots of industry stakeholders who have joined me on the table and, of course, in the studio. I'm going to introduce them. Of course, you just saw Sophia Kujoji, Chief Corporate Communications Officer for the Jospon Group. And once again, a round of applause for the Jospon Group for all the work it's been doing. And on my left, Joel Eric-Entries, the CAS Group Head of Sales, Marketing and Business Development. Thank you very much, Joel, for coming. Let's appreciate Joel. And also, Emma Adjoa Apio-Seidu as Director, Communications and Corporate Affairs at Zoomlion Ghana Limited. Madam, thank you so much for coming. And to her left is Amma Oforientwi, Executive Secretary of the Environmental Service Providers Association, ESPA. Please, let's appreciate her. Thank you so much for coming. And then to my right is Cassandra Willis of South Shore University. She's Director of Partnerships and International Collaboration. Thank you so much for coming, Cassandra. And, well, we have the Deputy Minister for Local Governance, and she joins us here. And ladies and gentlemen, please, let's appreciate so Deputy Minister for Local Government, Decentralization and Rural Development. Let me mention all of that. Honorable Rita Naudole Soa is here with us. Thank you so much for coming, ma'am. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We appreciate you for coming. Joel, let me just begin with you quickly. So we've been talking about the Jospon Group. The CAS Group is part of the group, and looking at the work that has been going on. What do you make of this? Just quickly, because I know you'll be speaking to us also, but just a brief thought on that.
Yes, so just like Madam Sophia said, at the Jospon Group, we are at the heart of sustainability, and we are doing all that we need to do to support the drive for Agenda 2063. So I think we are here to expand on that and to also support the best way we can with all our subsidiaries that we have under the Jospon Group. So,
okay,
yes.
Joel, thank you very much for that. I know you'll be giving us a speech there, and so would wait on that. Also, we have a performance by very talented kids who will be joining us, so that they share with us the meaning of this AU Day. And so Joel will go across and give us his speech there. But we're also examining Africa's journey towards sustainable water management. As Joel mentioned, sustainability, very important there, and the countries leading the way, the nations leading the way, and even why 2063, that's quite a long time to come, but what really can we do as the African countries to be able to achieve that? And for Ghana also, and that is why the local governance minister is here, so we can ask her a few questions. She could also share thoughts on what's been happening there, at the ministry and across the country on water and sanitation issues. The rains have been coming down. Just last week I saw a video where, it was a rushing water into a gutter, and then some persons, came out and just put out all their garbage, threw it into the water, and that's something we've been seeing over the period. And so if we say that we're going to help achieve this vision or Agenda 2063, there's so much that needs to be done, and that is why this conference is very important. So now I'll get back to Joel so that he can take us through his official speech now, and then we can continue with the rest of the program. Joel, so over to you.
So good morning, distinguished guests, the Honorable Minister, industry stakeholders, ladies and gentlemen. It's an honor to represent the CAS, or the Commercial and Allied Services Cluster of the Jospon Group of Companies, to celebrate African Union Day. This year's theme, which is assuring sustainable water availability and safe sanitation systems to achieve the goals of Agenda 2063, is very topical in the sense that it reminds us that clean water and proper sanitation are a prerequisite for public health, economic growth, sustainable development across the African continent. As we work towards the aspirations of Agenda 2063, we recognize that no nation can achieve meaningful development if sanitation challenges continue to undermine the health and productivity of its people and interfere with the daily lives of its citizens. Clean communities create healthier populations, reduce healthcare costs, improve educational outcomes, and support economic advancement. Proper waste management systems, adequate sanitation workers, and education is vital to our security. This is particularly concerning as we are in a rainy season and we see the news and effects of flooding. A lot of these cases can attribute to poor sanitation. This is exactly why we need the services of the different clusters and subsidiaries of the Jospon Group to provide for Ghanaians proper waste management systems or reporting and throw light on the sanitation issues. Ladies and gentlemen, the organization continues to champion sanitation agenda through service delivery, public education, advocacy, and the Metro has also distinguished itself as a leading media voice in sanitation advocacy and community education in Ghana. It has consistently used its platforms to educate citizens on sanitation issues, highlight challenges within our communities, and encourage behavioral change. Through the Clean Report, which airs on Fridays at 1:30 p.m. on Metro, this program is one of the most dedicated platforms to the environmental, sanitation, and waste management discussions. Through reporting, expert analysis, and community engagement, Clean Report examines the realities of the liquid and solid waste management, showcases innovative solutions, and amplifies the voice of stakeholders working tirelessly to improve sanitation outcomes. Beyond programs like the Clean Report, Metro TV also continues to champion sanitation-related issues through the news coverage and field reports. By keeping sanitation conversations in the national spotlight, the organization contributes significantly to changing public attitudes. Ladies and gentlemen, whilst institutions and organizations have important roles to play, the success of our sanitation agenda ultimately depends on collective action. Government must continue to invest in sanitation infrastructure. The private sector must support innovation and sustainable solutions. The media must remain committed to educating, and also advocacy communities must embrace responsible waste disposable practices. And the citizens must recognize that sanitation begins with individual choices and everyday habits. The vision outlined in Agenda 2063 cannot be achieved through public policy alone. It requires commitment from all of us, you and I. Today, I therefore call on everyone and stakeholders present to renew their commitment to sanitation and environmental stewardship. Let us strengthen the partnerships, support public education efforts, water and safe sanitation outcomes become a reality for every African. Now, we can't talk about access to clean water and not mention issues about galamsey and harmful effects it's on the environment. It's troubling to open taps and see tap water change color. The effects of illegal mining is deadly, and something must be done about it now. For the people and communities where it is happening and directly suffer the consequences, to those who live in the places where we have fully felt the consequences, we can't keep quiet about this canker. Let us move beyond conversations and translate our commitments to measurable action. Together we can build a cleaner community or cleaner communities, healthier populations, and more prosperous Africa. On behalf of the Commercial and Allied Services Cluster of the Jospon Group, I thank you for your dedication and for your continuous efforts towards creating cleaner, safer, and more sustainable future generations to come. Thank you very much.
Right, thank you very much, Joel Eric-Gentry. There are a lot of people in the studio for this conference. Let me just go through and introduce them. Yao Ata-Ahin is Wash Technical Specialist, World Vision International. Please let's appreciate Yao Ata-Ahin. Thank you so much for coming. We also have the Chief Executive Officer for the Queen's International School at Eastleigh Gone, Mrs. Rose Gomez. Thank you so much for coming. Let's appreciate her also. Thank you for coming. And again, we have our guests coming in from CONUWAS. Thank you so much for being a huge voice in this, the coalition of NGOs in water and sanitation. Please, let's appreciate them also. Thank you very much for your presence. And to all of you watching us online, thank you so much for being a part. And then we would get to it in a bit. We'll be hearing from our special guest for this particular conference. That's the Deputy Minister. We'll be hearing from her. But before that, we have a performance from Xavier, the voice trumpeter. We take that, and then I'll usher in our special guest for the keynote address. Right, so Xavier the trumpeter, beautiful one there. For a moment, I was thinking where the sound was coming. I thought it was from his mouth, and I saw lots of you singing along to the song. That's a very powerful song, the Xavier the trumpeter. Thank you so much for coming. And as the show goes on, you can definitely be part of this conference. Share with us your thoughts on the issues that will be raised, and it's a very, very important conversation for all of us. In a bit, we'll be hearing from our special guest, the Deputy Minister for Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs. She will be speaking to us in a bit, but we'll put the WhatsApp number there, of course, across all the platforms. You can share with us your thoughts on the issues that we are discussing today, being the African Union, the very, very important conversation. And the theme is assuring sustainable water availability and safe sanitation systems to achieve the goals of Agenda 2063. So that is why we're having this AU Day mini conference here on Metro TV from our Kwiaboyema studios here. Now, our special guest of honor serves as a member of Parliament, and well, she's been in this space for a very, very long time. And today, we are privileged, we are excited to have her join us for this conference because it is right under her nose. So she joined us today. Ladies and gentlemen, the Deputy Minister for Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs. Let's welcome Honorable Rita Na Odole Sowa, and she gives us the keynote address.
Celebrate the AU Day. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. And good morning to the general public as well. The celebration of the AU Day under the theme Systems to Achieve the Goals of Agenda 2063 couldn't have come at a better time such as this. We are all aware of the issues of water and sanitation, as we'll term it as WASH, the issues that we are facing as Africans and as Ghanaians. And this discussion comes on at a very opportune time because we are all aware of the issues ongoing about sanitation even in Ghana. The President of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, in September 2025, launched the Clean Ghana Agenda to ensure that we have a clean environment. And this is not just for the government, it's for all citizens to participate in and to ensure that our water is running and our environments are clean. On this note, the President for the district assemblies called on the district assemblies to play a critical role in this agenda. And as part of the initiatives, government has made sure that 10% of the district assemblies common fund is allocated towards sanitation to ensure that the district assemblies are able to clean our environments. And we are all stakeholders in this agenda because without a clean environment, we will not live in a healthy nation. The Ministry of Local Government, therefore, has taken this very seriously and have engaged the various stakeholders. And one of the stakeholders, I would say, is those who use the Bola taxes to cut our waste. And when they cut the waste, where is the final disposal site, which has become an issue that we are battling with. Apart from them, there are other organizations, ESPA, they are also stakeholders in this industry, and they are all trying to put our acts together. And with the issue of sanitation, we need enough resources to ensure that we'll be able to achieve the aim that we have set for ourselves. With this, in this regard, government cannot do it alone. We need private partnership to ensure that the waste is well carried out. And then as well as our water systems, I'm sure would need the private sector to also partner government in this regard. When we talk about waste again, where we have gotten to, there is the need for waste segregation. And this, I believe, should start from our households. The waste management organizations, a compromise where households should separate their waste, that is waste segregation, so that even if the Bola taxi is coming to the house to pick the waste, there should be a day that we are picking organic waste, there should be a day that we are picking plastic waste to ensure that, the systems can run. Because if we put all together, and then at the final disposal site, we want to see segregation, I don't think it is going to work too much for us. And so for me, one of the things I would put on the table is to ensure that waste segregation starts from schools, starts from organizations, starts from our communities, our households. And when they come to your house or the school and you have not done the segregation, they have to leave the waste. Because if we are going to get private partners to join us in this fight, there should be a company taking care of just plastics. There should be a company taking care of organic waste, where the organic waste can be turned into manure, and then the liquid ones too, we can get gas and other things from it. And so this is a conversation that both private stakeholders should be involved. As to the Bola taxis, the ministry has had engagements with them, and they have told us some of their challenges, especially driving all the way from Accra to maybe Tema to the other landfill sites. And it's a bit of a challenge because we all realize that they are very smaller units and they would need government support and even private sector support to work with them. And then with the district assemblies, they are heading they are leading to ensure that we have a clean environment. And so the onus also lies on them as the main engines that drive the sanitation agenda as well as our water systems agenda. And so our ministry is the Ministry of Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, with sanitation in it. And then we have the water with the Ministry of Water Resources, Works and Housing. And so there should be a proper collaboration between the two ministries and other stakeholders to ensure that we get this done. And when we talk about sanitation, we talk about our drains as well, how our drains are choked and all that. And you see people building along our drains, and as district assemblies, we need to be up and doing to ensure that we take care of these issues along our water bodies. And so as we have said, the government is giving 10%. We need the stakeholders, we need the private sector, all to get involved to ensure that this sanitation and water issues are well taken off. On this note, I would want to join the world as we celebrate World AU Day, as we celebrate the African Union Day, to ensure that we come together, segregate our waste, make sure that we have clean water. Those into Galamsey, let us stop the Galamsey to ensure that we have clean water. Sometimes the water that runs through our taps are not safe, and we cannot drink them. And so what water are even those who producing the water, the sachet water, the bottled water, what water are they using? Are we safe? Together, let's stand up and fight against Galamsey, fight against the indiscriminate dumping of our waste where it rains and you see people just dumping into the drains. Together, we will fight this fight, and together we will succeed. Thank you very much.
From our special guest, ladies and gentlemen, let's continue clapping for her. Let's appreciate her. She is the Member of Parliament for Ladade Kotopong and also the first MC for the area. And actually, you know, when I was going through that and I saw that your portfolio now as Deputy Minister and from where you have come from as an MC also, it shows that you've been on the ground, you've seen what's been happening on the ground, and you know the situation. And as you have called on all of us to be a part of this, to make sure that together we fight this. And the Galamsey, a very important one. I'll later have a one-on-one conversation with her, so she'll join me here. So we talk. Please, let's appreciate her once again, our special guest for today, Honorable Rita Na Odole Soa. You're still watching the AU Day mini conference here on Metro TV, and as I mentioned, you can definitely share your thoughts with us here on the show. We're going to take a quick turn. When we come back, I'll be engaging the Deputy Minister for Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs. So we'll be back shortly.
Excellencies, distinguished partners, ladies and gentlemen, water is life. Sanitation is dignity. Yet, over 400 million of Africans do not have access to clean drinking water, and above 700 million still do not have access to improved sanitation. Yet these are basic human rights. Too many families still walk long distances to fetch water. Too many children miss school because of unsafe sanitation. Too many communities are pushed back into poverty each time droughts or floods strike. This must change. That is why the African Union Commission has declared 2026 as the year of assuring sustainable water availability and safe sanitation systems to achieve the goals of Agenda 2063. This theme is a statement of intent and a promise to the people of Africa. Water and sanitation are not just services. They are the foundation of health, of education, for jobs, regional cooperation, and resilience. When we invest in water, we invest in women, girls, and the whole community. When we ensure safe sanitation, we protect dignity and opportunities. When we build climate-resilient water systems, we secure Africa's future. Africa has the vision. Africa has the solutions. What is needed now is collective action. Through this theme, we're calling on governments, communities, faith leaders, the youth, the private sector, civil society, and development partners to act together, to turn commitments into delivery and policies into impact. Implementation policies should lead the water and sanitation theme of 2026 agenda for better livelihoods for all, leaving no one behind. As an African proverb reminds us, if you want to go far, go together. Let 2026 be the year we go far together. Together, let us secure water for life, sanitation for dignity, and economic opportunities for all Africans. In doing so, we advance Agenda 2063, the Africa we want.
Right, we're still at the conference, AU Day mini conference, and it's a happy one for all of us. And again, one that we need to discuss the issues of water and sanitation. We just heard from our special guest of honor for this program, the Deputy Minister for Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, Honorable Rita Na Odele Sowa, and she's joining me here. I'm going to ask her a few questions. She raised, issues about drainage. And again, I'm happy that we've seen very young people here. How do we change the mindset? Because we've been doing that for a very long time. We've been calling for, let's do this together. Let's all come together. But where does it start from? From the home, from the schools, from government? Where exactly is is that going to come from? And so that's why we also want to hear from you. You can join us via WhatsApp number 0270-916-956. Share with us your thoughts on the issues we're raising there. So, Honorable Minister, where do we start from?
Thank you very much. When we talk about sanitation, from the child to the adults, to the institutions, to the schools, to the hospitals, wherever, we are all stakeholders in this business. And for me, I would say education should start from the schools, start from the churches. Because when we talk about the schools, when we talk about the churches, we have the children's service there. And so if they are from school and they go to their churches at the children's service, they are being taught about sanitation. In their schools, they are being taught about sanitation. They will send the message home to their parents to ensure that their parents lead a decent life. And you know, most of the time, these children will say, Mommy, they said we shouldn't throw rubbish in the gutter. Mommy, they said we shouldn't put the plastics on the floor. And the education goes on because your child might even embarrass you when you go to town and you drink water and you want to throw the rubber away. And I'm happy Metro TV has taken this initiative, to educate the general public on the need to keep a clean environment. And we need the media in this space as well. And so from the homes, we need to start the segregation.
Right.
Yes.
Is that the understanding? Because you are asking for the kids to be taught. Who is teaching the kid? The teachers, do they even understand even this? The segregation, maybe I could just throw a challenge to all of us here. Let's see whether we understand the segregation for ourselves also. Then it becomes a bigger problem.
So we need to separate the waste. We have organic waste,
right.
We have plastic waste, and then we have paper and all that. And so, and then we have the bottles. So we need to have a trash can for each and every one of them, so that with the organic, when they come and pick it up from your home or from the school or from the church, the hospital, wherever, they know where they are taking it to. Because as we speak now, we put all together.
Okay.
And then when it gets to the final disposal site, nothing can be done. And so sometimes they burn there, sometimes they just dig, and then when it's full, they cover it up.
Right.
How are we going to reclaim that land? Because we have plastic and bottles all together. And so that is the point, I believe, if we are going to start from, to educate. So we know those who are in the environmental sanitation area space, so that we'll let them go to the schools, even to carry out the education there. And then with that, the teachers will also be involved. And so I believe there are teachers who are teaching environmental studies. And so environmental studies, what does it entail? So that teacher should be made to educate his or her colleagues, and then even the children in the schools.
Yeah.
Some schools have started. I can say some schools, even in my constituency, have started. They make sure that their environments are clean. And when you go there unannounced, the schools are clean. But even as they are cleaning, are they aware that they need to separate to ensure that the final disposal site will not be choked as it is now? If we are doing organic, there are private people who want to come into the space. And so if we're able to educate our people, get it segregated, separated properly, believe you me, we are going to get there. Because 2026 to Agenda 2063 is a long way.
Yeah,
are we going to wait to get there? Because we think it's a long way. We need to start now.
What happens with after you gather the waste? That's another issue, because you walk around town and you see a lot of what's it called? The aboboyas carrying the refuse. We don't even know where they're taking them to, and that is another issue on its own. Yeah. From your ministry, how are we dealing with them? Because we know that ESPA is also there, doing their best, but we also have other people who are engaged in the picking of the waste. What are we doing there as a ministry? So
with the aboboya, the MMDAs are supposed to regulate them. As a ministry, we have met with them, and some of the MMDAs are working with them. And so what some of them have done is they've given them a particular color, and numbers have been given to them. And so if you have an aboboya and you do not belong to the association, then the assembly can arrest you. Okay. In the sense that we don't know where you are taking the rubbish that you have collected to. But these aboboya people or the association, they make sure that they send their waste to the final disposal site. And like I said, they really need support, because sometimes they go to the final disposal site, the money they have to pay even will take all the money they might have collected from the people that they collected the refuse from. And so we need to have a special conversation with them as well so that we'll be able to support them. Government can support them, private people can also, it's going to work well. But unless we change our mindsets.
We need to change our mindsets.
We need to change our mindsets.
That's why there was a call from you earlier that Galamsey is one thing that we need to fight. That canker needs to go. You're going to stay with us because now, my earlier questions were about sanitation, but now in the bit of water, you talked about Galamsey. Now the question that everybody asked is that, well, we knew this government was bent, gave us a lot of, positive talks about how Galamsey would be a thing of the past. But NIMOS is doing their best, but it seems that when they get to one place, another Galamsey site pops up somewhere in another area. And a lot of fingers are pointing to the local assemblies, and that is where you deal with them. What are we doing? Because if it happens in your assembly, you should be aware of it. How are we doing? Because if you are calling all of us to help fight it, at the end of the day, it's at the doorstep of the local assembly, and that is under your ministry also.
And so when we talk about Galamsey, the bit I can see about it is, like you said, it's under our ministry, at our doorsteps. The government is encouraging those in Galamsey, the operators, to go into community mining. And recently, I think somewhere in March, I was with Sami Jemfi, where we met with the members who were operators in community mining. We engaged them. And I believe if we have that continuous engagement, we will be able to get all other players in the illegal Galamsey industry on board. Because if we are working with the community miners and we are able to give them the necessary tools or whatever they need to operate, I believe, and if we do it very well, and I'll say that Sami Jemfi, that's the Gold Board, they are doing their bit and they are doing it very well. If there is continuous engagement, we should be able to get all other illegal miners on board to ensure that we'll be able to reclaim our land and ensure that the illegal Galamsey or illegal mining will cease. And it has to be a strong fight. The Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources are doing their bit, and they are putting up the fight, and we are all involved there. MMDCs have been informed that wherever...
Has there been anybody, any MC, DC fingered out, punished for Galamsey being done in their areas?
As we speak, there is none that I can speak of that has been sanctioned.
Sanctioned,
yes,
right.
Sanctioned, that's the word, sanctioned for engaging in Galamsey or his or her district.
Should we not be doing that? So yes, I can say a deterrent to all others.
So if we haven't gotten a culprit, how do we sanction? So we are looking up to the general public to also assist in this space, because as a ministry, we will not be everywhere, and so we need the community, the chiefs and everybody to ensure that whichever district Galamsey is being operated in, it should be brought to our attention or the government's attention, and that DCE or MCE will be called to order.
Okay.
And so we are calling on the general public, we are calling on the chiefs in our various localities or our various traditional areas to support us in this fight against Galamsey.
Right. Thank you very much, Deputy Minister for Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, and also Member of Parliament for La Dade Kotopong, and our special guest of honor for this AU Day mini conference. Thank you for sharing that with us. I have more questions when we get to the panel conversations. For now, we're going to take a performance from lovely kids from the Queen's International School from East Legon, and they're ready with their performance on this particular day, the AU Day. Let's take that. When we come back, we'll continue.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are from Queen's International. We're here to present you on a topic: One Africa, One People. Mother Africa, proud and strong, a land of rhythm, hope, and song. From north to south, east to west, together we rise.
Different languages, cultures, and skins, yet one great spirit lives within. Through peace and unity, we grow.
The African Union calls us to join as one, to build a brighter Africa under the sun. No more divisions, hatred, or fear.
O Africa, rich in gold and pride, with courage and wisdom as our guide, the youth shall lead, the dream is near.
My name is Neraya Wekemayu, and we are from Queen's International at East Legon, and it is an honor to present on this topic, One Africa, One People. Long ago, African countries often focused on themselves. They argued instead of working together.
Ghana is the first African country to gain independence and also to promote African unity.
We the Nigerians also gained independence in 1960, not long after Ghana.
We the Kenyans gained independence in 1963, not long after you Nigerians.
We experienced apartheid, and the great Nelson Mandela helped us.
Not without our help.
We have gold, soda ash, and the next time you sip a cup of tea or coffee, no, it's from Kenya.
Have you heard of platinum? We have the most platinum in the world.
Or more, we are known for oil and gas production, the most valuable resources in the world right now.
And you don't have light. That's what the Akosombo Dam in Ghana is used for. Provide you with light at a fee. We are also blessed with all the natural resources, gold, diamond, oil, and the green economy.
My country is known for Afrobeat music, cultural creativity, and fashion.
We are known for amapiano and traditional dances.
When it comes to beadwork, storytelling, traditional dances, and the wildlife, leave it for we, the Kenyans.
High life music, food, hospitality, and peace makes us the gateway to Africa. You may choose to disagree, though.
Stop fighting. Aren't we all Africans? Different countries, yes. Different languages, yes. But we all share one continent.
So what should we do?
Let's work together through the African Union. Our differences should not divide us. Rather, they should unite us.
So, what does the African Union do?
It helps African countries to promote peace, improve trade, support education, and unite Africa.
Instead of competing among ourselves, we should cooperate.
Exactly. Unity makes Africa stronger, which is why Queen's International is committed to inclusive and holistic education by welcoming learners from different backgrounds. We do extra activities such as swimming, chess, music, cultural dance, and robotics. We embark on field trips to tourist sites in Ghana and beyond. We do a program called Find a Tree to help learners find their career path. To find your career path, you have to read about it, write about it, and do something. We also go for nurturing nature activities to help learn about the green economy and to take care of farm animals. All these activities help in building creative minds, strong values, and future African leaders. The spirit of African Union is to promote unity, peace, and progress for all Africans.
Gold we have, diamonds we mine. Yes, we fight to carry out in blood. Tell me why you are in the mud. Africa, 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 eh. Mama Africa, we cry for peace. Africa. Gold we have, diamonds in mine. Yet we fight to carry it all in blood. Tell me why you are in the blood. Africa, 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 eh. I'm Africa. We cry for peace. Africa.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that amazing performance from the kids from Queen's International School, Easily Gone. And this just goes to confirm that Africa, we are rich and our potential is, there's so much to even do to get there. And I wasn't expecting the Nigerian bit though. I wasn't expecting that, but that was that. And I was looking at the face of their proprietor. She's here. Madame Rose Gomez. Let's appreciate her. Let's appreciate her. Thank you so much for putting this together with the kids here. So, very soon we'd have a presentation, but I'd want to go around the table and speak to our guests, get their thoughts, initial thoughts on, this day as we're focusing on water and sanitation. So I'll begin from Madam Cassandra Willis, and just a quick thoughts on what we are discussing today. She is the Director of Partnerships and International Collaboration at South Shore University. Madam Willis.
Hi, thank you for having me. Also, as the Director of Partnerships and International Collaborations, I am also a professor with the African Institute of Public Health. And this is very important, and it's something that I believe that all parts of Africa needs to be involved with. As the MP was speaking, and she kind of said at the end what I was going to speak to, what I have a blog page on Facebook called Change Your Mind, Change Your Life. What that consists of is that it's not just an everyday thing, it's a life thing. If we don't change our minds about how we see our communities, how we see our businesses, how we see our schools, our children, our families, we will destroy ourselves as a people of color. Africa, what I've discovered so far, being in Ghana, the trash issue. The trash issue is something that I believe really needs to be dealt with, because you have a lot of resources that come through Ghana. And for these people to come here and want to invest in this community, it's kind of what we say in the States, it's embarrassing, because you want people to invest into you, but you don't do anything to show them that it is worth them investing into your community. So that is something that I feel that just the trash alone needs to really be dealt with. The water. The water now, it's going to be kind of funny to some, it may be interesting to others. Something that God created that is really supposed to be for free, that we have now governed the water, but yet you turn it on and off at leisure for certain communities, for certain people to use. And that is something that I'm still trying to grasp, because you want clean running water, you want people to be hygienic, clean, take baths on a regular basis. You're teaching the children how to be, practice proper hygiene. But yet, there are some people that go for days that don't have water. How do you make that make sense? So I think if we restructure here in Ghana how we choose to use our water system, how we choose to use the trash, like the MP was speaking to the bins. In the United States, we do have that. That is a custom, that you have your plastic bins, you have your paper bins, you have your natural resource, things that are made out of natural product bins, so you know where to take these things to when they are picked up. Now you spoke to her about being fined. If you see someone throwing trash into the gutter or into the water. You have huge bodies of water around here. The Volta region, you got the largest lakes and water resources there. Then you got, the beaches, the Pacific Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, things of that nature. So it's too much around Ghana to have these type of attitudes and these type of behaviors taking place.
Okay.
And I believe if, like she said, if we start in one area with the children, teaching the children about proper sanitation, putting, when you see, finish with an item, throw it in the trash, have a bin. Every office, every house, every community needs to have trash bins, need to have dumpsters. That's what we call it in the States. In each community where when the sanitation companies come, and they need to be on a regular schedule, because I've noticed that it's not a regular rotation. It's almost as though, hypothetically, they show up whenever, you know, they feel. I know that we're dealing with a lot of people, you know, a country that has, you know, a huge number of people here, and more people are coming. But they need to be on a rotation. They need to have specific days so the families would know how to put their garbage out.
Okay. Thank you very much, Cassandra. You could see the passion in her talk and everything that she's experienced there. So it's a call to all of us to do this very, very important. Thank you very much, Cassandra Willis. I'll definitely come back to you for more. She's Director of Partnerships and International Collaborations at South Shore University. We'll get to Madam Amal Forientry, Executive Secretary of Environmental Service Providers Association, ESPA. ESPA, the last time you were here, we were talking about, you know, issues like this, and that's a very significant day to talk about water and sanitation. From your quarters, what do you say?
Thank you for the opportunity. When we look at the agenda that has been set, you might think it's 50 years plan. And as Africans, we also deserve a very dignified environment and to have all the put into all the beautiful things around in terms of our environment, our infrastructure, our facilities, to also look beautiful as other countries. So when we take our sector, the sanitation sector, for us to achieve this Agenda 2063, one of the key things that we need as a nation is good governance. We need a good governance system. We need our laws to work. We need our institutions to function properly, such that the private sector, whether we like it or not, has a key role to play. The private sector has the expertise and has done a lot in terms of when it comes to the waste management sector. Going forward, what we need from this, as a country, going forward, what we need is private sector support. We need that enabling environment where the private sector can thrive and then work efficiently. So we need an enabling environment. We need a support system where we can come up with all the innovations. We've already done a lot in terms of innovation, but a lot more can be achieved if we have a good enabling environment where we can invest more. Private sector participation is key. It's indispensable as far as achieving the OAU Agenda 2063 is concerned. So this is where I'll use this opportunity to call on government to support the private sector in the sense that when a lot is achieved and then we have to go back fighting to sustain the gains, it doesn't help. It will not encourage any person to continue participating in the sanitation sector. So I'll use this day to call on governments. They've done a lot, but we now need a structured system where we can have the support to operate and then be very efficient. Because when it comes to the sanitation, it is the rights for the citizens. It's our rights, and we have to attain it. We have to, in fact, government has to ensure that it is achieved. So this is a forum that would want to end open vitrification. We would want to see our drains choked with filth. We would want to see floods whenever it rains. So indeed, if Africa is committed, then we need a coordinated response. We need our policies put in place properly to push the private sector so that we can achieve the Agenda 2063. You might think it's far, it's just 50 years from now. But as Africans, we can achieve this because right now, Africa is where the business is. Africa is not the global continent trending. It is Africa, and Africa can achieve it. So this is a good opportunity for all our governments to have a coordinated response in place, put in place in terms of policy, so that they can push the private sector, so that we can also achieve all the targets that have been set.
Right, thank you very much. Let's appreciate Ama Ofori-Antwi, Executive Secretary for the Environmental Service Providers Association. I'll come back to ask a question about ESPA and how you're doing and helping in all of this. Next up, we're going to hear from the Director of Communications and Corporate Affairs for the Zoomlion Ghana Limited, Madam Emma Adwoa-Piosei is here. We're calling on all of us to do our best. For Zoomlion, you've been doing this. There's a whole lot in terms of the segregation, as our special guest alluded to. Can you just share with us what Zoomlion Ghana Limited has been doing to help us with our sanitation issues?
Thank you very much. And riding on the existing protocols, I would say today, as we celebrate the AU Day, we recognize that our continental liberty for people of Africa is tied strongly to our dignity in terms of sanitation. And therefore, we need to be aware of our own selves, carrying the charge of this conversation, going beyond the rhetorics into practice. Indeed, is exactly what we have to be discussing almost all the time, so that the ideas will come and form in our minds how we will have to manage our water resources and our sanitation systems. For us in Zoomlion, we have been doing this for 2 decades now. This May is 2 decades when we started doing waste management. And we realized that we needed to bring in innovative technology. So for me, my background is in mathematics, so I have propounded a certain formula saying that we need the impact. And the impact is the injection of technology, innovative technology, multiplying that by community and local choices. Then we are sure that we are going to achieve the assumptions of the 2063 agenda. Why am I saying this? If the private sector comes in with capital injection, innovative technology, and the community is not available to use the technology, we fail. If the community is available, and of course, everywhere there is a human being, there is waste. We are generating close to 0.7 kg of waste per head every day, and we are not, we do not have what it takes in terms of the technology to manage it. Again, we fail. So for us, once we marry the two, the technology available, we make it community-owned, we generate jobs for the people. The youth and women especially are engaged. What we did in Ghana, which we have incubated over 20 years and for which we have scaled up and moving into Africa, is to support government in our PPP arrangements with our tricycles and the community-based choices where the community people get on board. We cleanse the streets, we cleanse the communities. We realized also over the years that the heavy trucks were not able to penetrate all the nooks and crannies of our towns. For example, let's take a slum. Where will the compaction truck move through the alleys? That is almost impossible. So we introduced, again, an innovative technology, the tricycle. We moved it through 3 phases. The manual one, we motorized it, and now we have made it self-tipping. So when a young guy carries this and is working with it, he's so confident because we have moved solid waste management from mere collection and transportation to processing. Now, we all know that land is almost very scarce. And if you have a piece of land, you rather give it to a real estate developer than giving it to a chief or the local government to establish a landfill. So this is it, but we are still generating the waste. So where do we pack the waste? That is why we have moved into processing. And we have set up 16 integrated recycling plants dealing with the waste. And this is what brought us the gains, where the UNEP named Ghana as one of the 20 cities that have moved into zero waste management. And that is a plus to Ghana because these establishments are available. We also have 6 wastewater treatment plants across Ghana. And they are all pushing their conversation, indeed, from the rhetorics to practice.
Apia, for helping us with that. Before we get to a presentation, so we want to find out what the data says about Africa as we are going towards this agenda 2063. What's the data looking like in terms of the various African countries? Who is already there in terms of water and sanitation? What countries also making the efforts to get there? And before we get to that, I want to bring in 2 of my colleagues and some other studio. For Nana Kwesi, he's hosted a show about climate and the environment. He's followed that. I want to have his thoughts on that. And Ekosechi Saki has also been going around with Zoomlion, engaging, all persons on the ground regarding this issue. So, Kwesi, I want to find from you this agenda, now that we're focusing on water and sanitation, that in the next 50 years, what we can do with that. Your thoughts really about this thing for the AU and personally what you have also observed.
All right, so I mean, from the discussions that we've been having from the moment we started the mini conference, I have gathered so much from all of them, but then my biggest question is, how can we balance economic growth to, environmental protection? Because if you look at every economy in the world, as soon as it starts to grow, the garbage, the rubbish also start to pile up. But then a lot of the times we are thinking about the growth, the monies that are coming in, the things that we think we are changing, the big cars, the buildings that we're building and so on. And then we tend to forget the environment that keeps us healthy to continue the life that, we have right here on earth. But then we just don't pay attention to that. So my biggest question to our wonderful guest is, how can we balance these two so that at the end of the day, before we get to the next phase of life, and then the young ones that are coming, they don't also look at us and continue from that same stage that we, started from. But they look at it from the angle of, okay, as much as we're doing this, we also have to take care of our environment. It's extremely important for us to take care of our environment because I think even our environment is our number one, it should be our number one priority. Because without that, I don't think we can continue on this life. Because if you're not taking good care of your environment, how are you going to be healthy? And how can your economy also grow? So this is my question to all our guests over here, our special guest.
Nana Kwesi, thank you very much. That's a very important question because as we are seeking economic growth, we're opening up the space, trying to make our economy work. We're going to have a lot more people, a lot more garbage coming in. How do we do that? Our special guest, would you take that? As we're growing our economy and all of that, how do we make sure that we find a balance in between so that the economy grows and how we can keep the garbage that would increase also would grow, are resolved to be able to make sure that we do not see a lot of trash around?
Okay, thank you very much. Like the communication head for Zoom Lion said, technology is the way to go. And I believe if all assemblies will come together, engage in private partnership on technology, on how to turn our waste into gas for our own use, I believe it's going to help us so that when we have investors coming or our economy is growing and we apply the technology on the waste, it's going to be a good avenue to ensure that the economy grows.
Right. Thank you very much there. And also the proprietress of Queen's International School, as we saw her kids perform for us earlier, she also has a question, and so let's get to her. Mrs. Gomez, thank you very much for joining us today, and thank you for allowing your kids to join us and giving us that beautiful performance. Let's appreciate her and the kids once more. So now over to you. Any question you have for our special guest industry stakeholders here?
We're very, very happy and honored to be part of this noble occasion where we are looking at ourselves as a people and what we can do to make our lives. When we talk about sanitation, we're talking about healthy living. We're talking about how to make a life meaningful for ourselves. The theories are many, and we know it. We talk about it, but what I want to know is why are we not acting on every piece of information we know about what can keep our environment clean?
Okay, so we know, that's the question. We know all of it on paper, how we can get this to work. That's a very important question. But why are we not acting? Who's going to take this for me? Okay, please go ahead.
Thank you very much, ma'am. It is true that we know. Like an elderly woman asked me, who owns the waste in this country? From her perspective, if she knows the person who owns the waste, then it's going to hold the person responsible for not cracking the whip, and that we overwhelmed with waste. And I told her, technically, waste belongs to the state. And you are part of the state. You are part of the government. So when you start cracking the whip in your environment, the multiplying effect that I mentioned will happen. Once the community fails, no technology can support. And if we have technology in place and we don't have the choices of the community to accept the technology, then we fail. So we should decide as a people to change our attitudes. But where we have come, and with the presence of rights, many rights available to us, forgetting the left, if there is anything like that, I believe government should inject the laws into the system. They should be made to bite. The bylaws should be made active. The bylaws work within smaller communities. So once I know what I have to do and what is supposed to be done to me, when it is cracked on me, I will not complain too much. We should also decide to stop bringing in people to apologize for offenders. If you offend, you have offended. Let the law bite you hard. Because wherever we go to, where we see the place beautiful, there are sanctions that work. Recently, we've been talking about Rwanda behind our back, and they did it hard. It was not comfortable. Until you accept the hard truth and decide that you allow the people to feel a little pinch for irresponsibility, we are going nowhere. And we should also note that, I'm taking it from the gentleman's question, I can't say yedinam neyinam. You invest with money, and then you will get the money back. We have opened our doors, and people are coming left, right, center, everywhere a human being lives, there is waste. So we should deliberately position some investment. I'm looking at our organization. If we hadn't intentionally put these recycling plants all over, what would have become of Ghana? Would we have been mentioned as one of the 20 cities that is working on zero waste? No. And to take that initiative, it is hard money, capital investment. So if the government has the will to deal with the waste, then all the measures can be put in place very well and appropriately, and we can get it done.
Right. Oh, sure, because I saw your reaction when she talked about people pleading on behalf of offenders.
And that's one thing that the MMDAs or the MMDCs should stamp their authority. If the person has offended, the person has offended. And so why would we allow people to come and beg for them and they keep doing the wrong things? But when they are punished, they'll desist from carrying on with those wrong activities. Outside this example, Saturday, over the weekend, I was driving through East Legon, and you get to Aduanepa. Right after Aduanepa, there's some new development on there. And then there's a very big storm drain there, very close to the development. And they have written stop work small over there. And the people are working. I called the authorities involved. Do they have permits? They don't have permits. And if they don't have permits, why are they still working? I've called all the authorities. I took pictures I have sent to them. The assembly has to bite. The law has to work. And so it's from all of us who have been put in leadership positions to ensure that we do the thing right. For me, you said I've been an MCE before. You know, with sanitation, I have some passion for it. And at the time, there was so much open defecation. And for me, we go out in the night. We were working 24 hours at that time. My officers, I remember Mr. Akwe, wherever you are, thank you so much for the support you gave us. We go in the night, midnight, we arrest them. When we bring them to the sanitation court. And when you call me around that time, I do not pick my calls because I know you are coming to plead. And so after that, when you come, I said, let's educate our people to stop open defecation. Today, we've been able to put in some facilities and open defecation has been halted. What I'm saying is that the law has to bite. And the assemblies, the local assemblies, have the authority to make the laws work. And if they are relaxed and people are doing whatever they like, people are building in waterways, then government will spend money to go and demolish because where the facilities or the developments are not the best. So I'm calling on the MCE for Ayawaso West. I'm saying it here. That development over there has to stop and the law has to work. They do not have permits and so they cannot continue with whatever they are doing. Let us come together. Let us stop pleading on behalf of people who are doing the wrong things in the nation, retarding our development. How can we get investors to come? When they come and everywhere is choked, everywhere is dirty, do you think they will stay? And we want economic growth. So these are things that there are measures, the bylaws have to work. And for me, we've been going around on even the billboards. They are another thing that we also are looking at. Indiscriminate mounting of billboards. We've met with the local assemblies to ensure that those that are not to be where they are, they should remove them. We've met with the stakeholders in the industry and they've agreed with us. But some people, while it's being removed, some people move into the night and then they mount new ones. And so these are not things that we should take for granted. Let us all together as people ensure that we have our environments clean and our environments well developed. And with that, there's going to be economic growth.
Right, so let the laws bite. So this is from your boss, assemblies. This is from your boss. And she, again, will ask you to make sure that the laws bite. So that when they call you, you don't pick up. Tell them that when they call, they should also pick up. And then we can get this working. You see on social media, the bus stop boys going around. There was one video where a woman was selling food and the gutter right in front of her place was choked with everything you can ever think of. These gentlemen came in and said, well, the frontage is not so nice, so we want to clean here on this day, so join us. The woman and whoever she works with never joined. They didn't care about it. So if we have such attitude like this, then we have a problem. And so that is where the assemblies would have to come in and say that, you know what, we are stopping you from doing your work and taking you to the court for not keeping your frontage. And that's what people talk about the town council or the tankers as we know it. But for now, we're going to have a presentation. We're going to understand the issues, the data, and all of that on water and sanitation as we're looking at this very important problem as we have in the solutions to it. And so we're going to have Yao Ata Ahin. He's technical specialist, WASH technical specialist with World Vision International, and also former chair of CONIWAS, and he'll be taking us through the presentation. So it's one that we need to really pay attention to. Yao, let me just have your very brief thoughts about all the conversation you are really involved in, moving from school to school on the ground. What does it look like that you can get into your presentation?
Right, so Honorable Deputy Minister for Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, distinguished invited guests, colleague Africans. Yes, today is AU Day, so good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
It is not very good though. This continent is faced with a myriad of challenges, from water to sanitation to hygiene, and it doesn't look too good. It doesn't appear that we are making the kind of progress we need to make to be able to get our citizens to live in a very clean and hygienic environment. So there is a challenge we are all faced with, and Ghana is not an exception. So as I go through the slides, I'm sure the issues will come out.
Okay, sure, take us away.
So, food for thought. Kofi Annan of blessed memory once said that we shall not defeat any of the infectious diseases that plague the developing world until we have also won the battle for safe drinking water, sanitation, and basic health care. This is very telling, very instructive. Again, Deepak Chopra, this is my favorite American philosopher. He says, although we take it for granted, sanitation is a physical measure which has probably done more to increase human lifespan than any kind of drug or surgery. Another very powerful statement for sanitation advocacy. My final one. Mahatma Gandhi said, sanitation is more important than political independence. That was when he developed the 100-year plan for sanitation for India. I want to run quickly because of our time. In 1984, that is about 42 years ago, there was a publication in the Time, Africa's Woes, Coups, Conflicts, and Corruption. But I want to make the point that Africa is still faced with the woes when it comes to water and sanitation. And we need to address this as quickly as possible. There is also another publication in the Daily Graphic of 13th December 1968. That is about 58 years ago. It was titled, Poor Sanitation Threatens Lives in Accra. In 2026, poor sanitation is still threatening lives in Accra. And for me, I think we need to have that urgency to deal with this situation. The place of water and sanitation is that, first of all, it's an enabler of poverty reduction. And also, it is a catalyst for growth and socio-economic development. So wherever water and sanitation thrives, development goes on very quickly. Now, at World Vision, we say that nothing can be more important to child well-being than access to safe drinking water and improved sanitation. At the European Union, they say that no strategy for poverty reduction can ignore people's vital requirements for safe drinking water, and I add, and improved sanitation. Now, when you look at the SDGs, almost all the SDGs are connected to water and sanitation, almost all of them. And so the argument is that If we are unable to achieve SDG 6, water and sanitation, we may not be able to achieve any of the other SDGs. And that is how important water and sanitation is to the discourse. Unfortunately, over 2.2 billion people across the world live without access to safely managed drinking water. 3.5 billion live without safely managed sanitation. And approximately 2 billion worldwide do not have facilities for hand washing with soap. And so it's a major issue that we are faced with. However, there's good progress when it comes to access to safe drinking water, no doubt. At least, even the Population and Housing Census 2021 says we are at 87.7, almost 88, which is good enough when you compare ourselves to the African compatriots. However, they say that the devil is in the details. In there, we have so many challenges with water quality. We have challenges with alternative water supply arrangements. We have challenges with operation and maintenance. So at any point in time, about 30% of all water facilities would have broken down, especially in rural and small town communities. And that is a major issue. Washing schools is a major issue. 25% of all public basic schools do not have access to safe drinking water. That is not even the most dangerous part, but 26% of all public basic schools don't also have a toilet facility. So when your child goes to school, there's no toilet at the school. What do they do if they have to attend to nature's call? Either they go home and won't come back to school, or they find a nearby bush and practice open defecation. And so it's quite a serious situation. Only 25.3% of Ghana's population has access to improved sanitation. And when I talk about improved sanitation here, I just mean toilet facilities, improved toilet facilities. Apart from that, the rate of open defecation is 17.7%, almost 18%, Population and Housing Census 2021. So these are difficult situations. By the way, in 1990, Ghana's sanitation coverage in terms of open defecation, for example, was 22%, according to the JMP, Joint Monitoring Platform, conducted by UNICEF and WHO. In 2026, the percentage is 18%. So for 36 years, we have only made 4% improvement. And so how long is it going to take us? If we go, at that pace, it will take us several decades before we are able to overcome something as simple as ending open defecation. Again, when it comes to waste management, and there's a great emphasis on that this morning, and I like it, because Ghana generates in excess of 7.5 million tons of solid waste alone. Out of this, we have more than 1 million being plastics, but only less than 5% is treated or processed, recycled. So averagely, about 60 to 70% of solid waste is effectively managed through door-to-door and municipal arrangements. But there is a major challenge with the arrangements for solid waste management. And I think that government needs to quickly look at this, because this is a very low-hanging fruit that government can easily pluck. And once we are able to get solid waste management right, several diseases will be no more. People will not go to the hospital. Government's bail on healthcare will reduce. Productivity will increase. And generally, the economy will grow. And so that is why I think we need to pay attention to this part. Thanks to Zoomlion and some other waste management companies, I think that Ghana has made quite a very significant improvement when it comes to waste management. And we need to continue on that direction. What is the cost of poor sanitation? As far back as 2012, the World Bank told us in a research that Ghana spends in excess of $290 million annually because of poor sanitation. And we lose an additional $79 million because of open defecation. 369 plus gone to waste. You know what $369 million annually can do to our economy? And so I think government should pay attention to this area as well. The dilemma of hygiene is also real. People are not washing their hands, they eat, and it appears that after COVID, everybody has forgotten about the danger of not washing our hands, and we have gone back to sleep. And I think we need to wake up. Ghana's inadequate access to safe drinking water and poor sanitation is as a result of two things, only two things. Number one, the lack of commitment, and number two, poor prioritization over the years. We are not too committed to issues of water and sanitation. Yes, we talk about them. We make provision for them in our blueprints, from PAMSCAD to Agenda for Jobs. We have always prioritized it on paper. But when it comes to implementation, we don't do too well. And so out of these two, commitment and limited prioritization, we have limited financing, weak institutional arrangements. By the way, the Ministry of Sanitation and Water Resources didn't have any operational agency, none at all, to operationalize policies of sanitation on the ground. How are you going to succeed with such a system? You go to Ministry of Health, Ministry is there, Ghana Health Service is there, Blood Authority, Ambulance Authority, Ghana Health Service, Ghana National Health Insurance Authority are all there. And because of this, things move well, orderly. But you come to our ministry, even the Ministry of Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs doesn't have an operational agency for sanitation. And that is why we have always called for the establishment of the National Sanitation Authority, which will standardize things, which will sanitize the space, which will do research, resource mobilization, among others, regulation and enforcement. Because government cannot do this. The ministry cannot go to the field to go and implement this. We need to fix this as quickly as possible. We don't have any alternative water supply arrangements, so rural areas, boreholes, urban areas, surface water we treat and we distribute. Can we come up with some alternative arrangements, especially for rural and small towns? We have poor implementation of policies. Our policies are some of the best in the world that I have seen, but unfortunately, we don't implement them well. Non-enforcement of laws and bylaws are the problems that have, bedeviled this country. High non-revenue water. Ghana Water Company produces 100 cubic meters of water, and they lose 45 of it. So 45% of all the water we produce goes to waste, unaccounted for, non-revenue water. They don't get any revenue from this. When out there, some are doing 2%, 5%. In Africa, some are doing less than 10%. And I think this is a major issue that we need to tackle. Poor behavior change of citizens. Poor behaviors of citizens. We need behavior change. And I think we need to have a certain comprehensive, sustained behavior change communication strategy. Otherwise, we are not taking the citizens along with us. I remember there was an advert. Hannah Ojunso, Wabodam. Remember that one? Yes. A madman telling a supposedly sane man, is it where you are urinating? When he should be telling the madman. And that advert has resonated for a very long time. And I think that as a ministry and as agencies, we need to come up with such strategies, behavior change communication strategies, that will change the behaviors of our people so that sanitation can improve. Way forward, briefly. We need to make water and sanitation a strategic national development priority. Everywhere where development is faster, water and sanitation is a priority. So we need greater prioritization, we need increased financing, innovative financing arrangements. We need to pay attention to water quality. Water quality is a major issue in this country. In fact, according to the cluster survey, which was conducted 2018, 5 out of 10 point sources are contaminated with E. coli. And 8 out of 10 household water is also contaminated with E. coli. And so attention needs to be paid to this. Meanwhile, we have what we call the National Drinking Water Quality Management Framework, which, when implemented, will address all these issues. The MMDAs will be up to task and they will address all these. but we are not paying attention. We need to accelerate the reforms in rural water delivery. We need to accelerate the reforms. Because, you see, for over 30 years, we have been grappling with operation and management. And we say we are practicing what we call the community ownership and management approach, which has failed. Research has proven that that has failed, and we can't rely on it anymore. And I think that we need to pay attention to this issue as quickly as possible. Okay. We have also other behavior issues of citizens. People are not paying water bills. People are doing illegal connections. Galamsey is rife. We are not dealing with it, among others. I think that we need to pay attention to this. My final point will be this. We thank the president so much. And I have been excited that the president has made sanitation a key performance indicator for metropolitan, municipal, and district assemblies or district chief executives. Brilliant. I think that having made it so, we need a certain monitoring mechanism to be able to check whether they are actually doing what the president wants them to do. Secondly, we need to see whether they have the capacity. Thank God we have private, companies, private operators, service providers around who can support them adequately. And I think we need to build their capacity, resource them well, because sanitation is a public good. It affects everybody, whether you contribute to the waste or you don't. Now, having made it a key performance indicator, we want government to also make it a key performance indicator for regional ministers. And by the way, I know the Minister for Local Government, Chief Tenancy and Religious Affairs, is a key performance indicator for him and the Deputy Minister. And we should be able to track it at regular intervals to see where we are and then revise our notes, make inputs, and move forward. If we are able to do all this, I believe that Ghana will go a long way. We may not be able to achieve the SDG for sanitation. In my opinion, we can't. Because of where we are.
We cannot.
We will not be able to achieve the SDG goal for sanitation.
Well, when is that supposed to?
Goal 6. Water and sanitation. Because it says that this one is not about half, leaving no one behind. It means that 100% of the population must have access to sanitation, improved sanitation. And given where we are, it will be extremely difficult, almost impossible, to be able to achieve that goal or that target. But if we put our hands to the wheel, and if we put in the right strategies, if we prioritize it, we invest heavily in it, we may get very, very far. And may even able to overtake some of the African countries who have, who are leading us currently. So if we are able to do all this, I believe that Ghana is good to go. We have the men, we have the women to be able to take us up there. Thank you very much.
Right. Thank you very much. Yao Atta Ahin is a wash specialist. Yao, you stay there for me because this is very important, because we're cutting across everything from health, agriculture, food security, industry, and poor sanitation contributes to diseases and low productivity, and that is another cost to all of us if we do not address that as soon as possible. Deputy Minister, you've heard from Yao, you've seen the data as he has shown us. We have all the beautiful laws, as he mentions, on paper, in fact, on the shelves. What is the challenge with implementation of these laws to be able to achieve these things as we're talking about?
The laws are there. People are made aware of the laws. We are educated about the laws, and implementation is a challenge. And so I would say that we need more education, we need more enforcement to ensure that the people who have been placed in those authorities should ensure that whatever laws they've been given to use on their jobs, they should implement, and it has to work. And so it all boils down to, I'll say, leadership styles. Because as a leader, you have to lead to ensure that the officers or your followers would adhere to whatever bylaws or laws that we have. And so if you are not able to make them aware of the laws. And for instance, I would say that for the communities, maybe we have not done much education. And most of the time when we are going to have projects, we have community engagements. And I believe now it has come to a point where we need to go into the community to get our laws properly implemented. So that we'll have community engagements, speak to the people about the laws. Some of them, they don't know about the laws because maybe there's no opportunity for them to educated on whatever laws we have. And so I believe we have to go into the communities, have the community engagement to ensure that these laws go to the people who need to abide by the laws, and then the laws can work properly for us. And so that will help us in the implementation process.
Right. Am I also add something?
So in addition to all that Minister said, which is very good and which is one of the ways forward. Our policies, as was indicated, our laws and everything, there's always a gap. It goes with financing. And this is one key area we've been running away as a nation, as regulators, in terms of leadership, in terms of direction. How can we have a good policy? How can we have a good strategy without any resources to do the implementation? And when it comes to the sector, it's a capital-intensive sector. So as we do the policy and the plans, we need to attach the resources that we also use to do the implementation. This is one key gap, and this is one of our key challenges as a nation that we need to be committed to. That is why I've indicated earlier. We need good governance in our sector.
Minister, talking about finances, let me ask you, do you have enough money to work?
I would say that as at now, with the District Assemblies Common Fund, 10% of the 80% that government has released to the various assemblies is earmarked for sanitation, which some of the MMDAs have drawn our attention to the fact that it's not enough. And so we are all trying to see how best we can support the industry in terms of the MMDAs, in terms of sanitation. There are some areas where they produce more waste. There are areas that do not produce more waste. So maybe some of them, the resources will be enough. But they have made us aware as a ministry that some of the resources are not enough when we come to, I'll talk about Greater Accra and then some of the capital cities like Kumasi, like the Western Region, Takoradi, among others, Tamale. And so we are in talks with them to see how best the ministry would make some adjustments to ensure that we get the resources to help in all this.
Right. So according to a report, and Cassandra will just join in a bit, but Ghana loses 6.2 billion cedis every year due to poor waste management and sanitation. And that's a report by ISEF. And we're spending about 5.58 billion annually managing sanitation-related diseases such as malaria, cholera, typhoid, and all other associated diseases. So you can see how much we're spending as a country when it comes to sanitation. It's crazy. Cassandra, you want to join in?
I wanted to speak to when they talk about the laws and people not understanding. Part of what I have experienced and witnessed is victim mentality. Most people think that someone else is supposed to handle these things for them. The funding, someone else is supposed to do this. No, we're supposed to come together as a community, collaborate, strategize, come up with ideas and ways to generate funds to help save our communities from this sanitation and water issues. So I think it goes back to the changing of the mind and not allowing them to be victims. So like the MP said, they will call if they get in trouble or fined and they want somebody to rescue them. No, you need to understand why you went through what you went through. So we need to rescue the victim mentality by teaching them and forcing them that this is what you have to know. You have to learn these laws. You have to change your attitude. You have to look at life differently. No one owes you anything. No one. So unless you decide that you want a better life, you're going to constantly be looking for someone else to save your life in a situation where if you just make small changes, I think it would make a big difference in our community.
Okay, right, Cassandra, thank you very much for the inputs there. I would ask our special guest final thoughts on everything here, and then we continue. Joel will also come in, and then for now, I want to hear from Elder Albert now. He's also here with us. Elder, we talk about the church, that the same people who are involved in all of these things as we're talking about it. We're talking about dumping refuse into the gutters. All of these illegalities we talk about, what it was in the church from Monday to Sunday. Oh, now, how do we do that in church? How do we make sure that we add up to the activism or the education, the awareness creation on the importance of proper sanitation practices?
Thank you. Yeah, I think the ministry, local government, has started a project. And the project is that we are engaging the Christian community, I mean the churches, because the faith-based, because they are in the community. And all these things are being done in the community. So the church needs to educate its members on the way we throw about our garbages into the gutters. When it rains, the water, especially the low-level areas, the overflow or the flood affect them. They are in the community. So they cannot sit down unconcerned that these things must continue. So we need to engage the churches more so that we talk about it. Thank God for Action Aid. They've come out with a book. And I think Christian Council, also last 3 weeks, they also give a certain book which they have tailored everything concerning sanitation in the books. So we need to send them to the churches so the churches will add up to the communication. And when we do that at our communities, I think in a way we can solve this problem.
Is this why we say cleanliness is next to godliness?
Sure.
Right, so Madam Sophia.
So let me just add that, so the Church of Pentecost, as part of its 2028 5-year strategic document, has made environmental sanitation a very deliberate thing on that platform. So since 2023 or thereabout, we've been talking about environmental care, where once in the month of March, a lot of dedication is given to environmental discussions, and even the pulpit is given for pastors and other experts in the area to speak about environmental sanitation. And this they are doing and they're also doing this, trying to get other churches to come on board to make sure that, because if Church of Pentecost alone has about 2 million people across Ghana, and we can get other churches to join, then it means that we are being deliberate about talking about environmental sanitation, not just about the waste management, but we're talking about galamsey, we're talking about tree planting, we are talking about anything that and everything that concerns environment. And I think that if the church can lead this campaign and champion it, and not just talk about it in the media, but also talk about it on the pulpit, where our people can really appreciate that this is from God and not from man, I think it makes it easier. And the Church of Pentecost is really leading on this, and it's
right.
Something that must be mentioned.
Thank you very much. But a round of applause for all the amazing ideas and thoughts shared here. A few weeks ago, the head of the Church of Pentecost mentioned that in some areas they can't even baptize anymore because the rivers are polluted, and that is a really, really sad thing to hear, that it cannot happen. I know it caused a lot of sentiment on social media, but anyway, let me bring in the minister. But before that, Joel, just quickly, your thoughts on what has been said so far as the minister gives us her final remarks.
Okay, so thank you so much. I think we have had very fruitful conversations. I'm just very happy to see that the Deputy Minister has given her full commitment to fighting this problem and trying to create awareness. And I think just like it has been said around the table, it boils down to us as well, as individuals and as community leaders and the heads of the communities. We also have to rise up to the occasion and take some responsibility as well for our own parts in whatever it is that is happening, to ensure that in our own little way, we are all trying to help to curb the problem and trying to solve the issue around water and sanitation. So
right.
I believe from here, we'll all do our part to make sure that we are holding each other accountable to make this something that will get us going in terms of our Agenda 2063.
Right, thank you very much, Joel. So if you just tune in, this is Metro TV and it's the Ignite Media AU Day mini conference on water and sanitation, focusing on the theme for the AU Day today, 25th of May, assuring sustainable water availability and safe sanitation systems to achieve the goals of Agenda 2063. Our special guest of honor today has been the Deputy Minister for Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, Honorable Rita Naa Odole Sowa, and she has to attend other pressing engagements, but we are very appreciative of the fact that she joined us here for this conference. Let's appreciate her. Yes, thank you so much for coming. Your final remarks, and then we can continue.
Thank you very much. I've really enjoyed the conversation. And before I leave, I would want to say a big thank you to His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama, the visionary leader who is leading the fight against sanitation. It has all been said here. We've all listened to everyone here. And I believe we are going to go back into our communities to ensure that we are going to engage each other, the various stakeholders, the members of the community, and to engage private partners to also come into the space to assist us in the fight against poor sanitation. This is something that affects our economy, and like was heard here today, when we want our economy to grow, we should ensure that our sanitation systems work. The way to go is technology. Let us all be involved. Let us go into our communities as MMDC East to engage our community members, to educate them on the need for a clean environment. And so on this note, this could not have come at a better time. And I think sometimes when we have a longer period, like 2063, people think, oh, next year it can be done. Or next 2 years it can be done. But let us not wait for the years to come, but let us come together to ensure that we do it now, and we say action now. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. But you made an announcement to, was it the Ayawaso?
Ayawaso.
Please tell them again.
Ayawaso West municipality. There is a development going on along a storm drain close to Aduanepa, East Legon, on the boundary road. And I have been there myself. I was driving and I saw them working. The stop work sign is in the corner there, nobody sees it. And so ensure that you go there, stop work, and then go through the right process because they do not have permits. Thank you very much.
Right, thank you very much. Please let's appreciate Honorable Rita Naa Odole Sowa. Thank you so much for joining us. She's the Member of Parliament for La Dade Kotopong, and also she is Deputy Minister for Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs. We're going to take a performance, and then we'll take the thoughts of all our guests here in the studio as we draw close to today's program. We're live across all our social media platforms at Metro TV Ghana, on Facebook, on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining us, and also on DSTV channel 277. Later this year, as you see, it's a mini conference. Later this year, we're bringing to you a very, very big conference on this. This is where we need to discuss the issues. This is where we need to prefer solutions to the problems we're facing as Africans on water and sanitation. And so for now, we'll take a performance from dear students from God's Glory School Complex from Pukwa. So when we get back from that performance, we'll take a thought of all our guests here in the studio on the way forward for all of this. So God's Glory School Complex, take us away.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Abraham. Please, we are children from God's Glory School Complex, Pokwasi. We are here to talk about African Union Day, AU Day.
Today we are going to talk about AU. AU is celebrated on 25th of May of every year to remember when African countries came together to work as one. AU is a family of 55 countries. They help work together for trade, development, and education. Its headquarters is in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. The motto is "The Africa We Want."
The AU reminds us that we are stronger together. It celebrates African culture, languages, music, and our history. It also reminds our leaders to work hard for a better future for young people like us.
The founder of AU is Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah and other African leaders. AU has countries. Countries involved in AU are Ghana,
Nigeria,
Egypt, South Africa,
Guinea-Bissau,
Togo,
Algeria, and many more.
African Union.
Yes,
integration and
development. Let's celebrate together. Happy AU Day.
Let's be proud of Africa.
This is God's Glory School Complex. We have extracurricular activities like cultural dancing, cadets, poetry recitals, and many more. God's Glory School Complex, excellence of wisdom. God's Glory School Complex, we stand for African unity. Thank you.
Okay. Right, so those are students from God's Glory telling us about Africa, and as you see from their map. I remember those days when we were in junior high school, we used to Ghana, Accra, in Yamena. I forgot how they do it nowadays. But it's very important that the kids understand this, and we also hear from them what they have been taught. They're from God's Glory School Complex from Pokwase. We're going to take a break. While we come back, we'll have our final thoughts on everything that has been said here, the way forward. Yao Atahin will be joining us here on the table, on the panel, so that we can continue with this conversation on water and sanitation. This is the AU Day Media Conference here on Metro TV. We'll be back shortly. Stay with us.
Grab your bottle and unleash the taste of Storm Energy Drink. A bold flavor, a big attitude, feel the vibe, own the moment. It's your time to be different. Storm Energy Drink, make your mark.
Excessive drinking can be detrimental to health, not recommended for persons under 18 years, lactating mothers, pregnant women, and people sensitive to caffeine. This advert is FDA approved.
And all their modern ambition taste. There is no margin for error. So much here is familiar.
Over 1,900 games brought us here.
There is not a sporting heat quite like this.
But history doesn't care about the joke.
The Premier League is the best league in the world.
La Liga is far and beyond the biggest winner.
It only remembers how it ends.
You bought it. It's not a word. You bought it.
8 titles. 1 month of mayhem to decide them all.
Outstanding from Patrick Dorgan.
Stay connected and watch DSTV to catch the football season finale this May. It's on.
Go Black Stars, go all the way till the end, to victory. We'll keep on cheering you until you have the trophy in your hands. Go Black Stars all the way. Football, it unites all of us. There is no escape from the medium of football. It unites all Ghanaian, it unites all Africa. And this time we are praying for Africa to make an impact, starting with Ghana leading the way. So watch it and support the Black Stars all the way. Everywhere, Metro TV, everywhere, why not? I mean, at the end of the day, if your choice is Metro TV, good for you.
Catch every moment loud and live on Metro TV, Original TV, and Original 91.9 FM. The world is coming to North America. 48 teams, 16 cities, 104 games, 3 nations, 1 dream. The 2026 FIFA World Cup is here. Catch every moment loud and live on Metro TV, Original TV, and Original 91.9 FM.
As the days come and go, there's always shit. Let colleagues explore all the planetary bodies. Our mission is in Uranus to treat hemorrhoids, anal fistula, anal fissure, anal incontinence, hidradenitis suppurativa, using laser ligature for pain-free and speedy recovery. On Uranus Street, Accra, is Mintuba Hospital and Coloproctology Center. Trust Uranus with us and we will delight you. Visit Mintuba Hospital today or call us on 0244 581 541.
Hey buddy, it's me Azar.
Hey, me now they see. Hey, you don't look fresh. Oh.
Hey.
With your label today, me.
Wait till you see what's inside me.
Azar, freshly made inside and out for greater coverage and colors that last longer and beautify your walls, spaces and places. Azar, no size. Go ahead. Buy now. Azar, #1 from Azar Group since 1921.
It's time to believe in you. We are changing, so should you. If you're dreaming, don't be afraid. And in the valleys, keep your head up high. Dare to dream with Puma drinks. Puma, Puma. Yeah, believe it, you can achieve. Puma, Puma. Oh yeah, clap your hands for the whole new vibe. Make we set the Puma. Oh yeah, come alive. Puma, Puma. Let me hear you. Puma.
Puma drinks, a whole new vibe. Another quality product from Casa Precon.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
This Easter, Estate Masters Limited is giving you more reasons to celebrate in our extended Easter promo. Secure your dreamland at Nest Cottage, Chapoli with a massive 15% discount.
or choose Palm Hills, Gomwa Pamfukurum, also at 15% discount. And for lovers of the coast, Coastal Park, Ningo Prampram awaits you at 10% discount. Plus, enjoy free site visits and free documentation because we make land ownership simple. This Easter, don't just celebrate, invest in your future. Estate Masters Limited, your most preferred estate partner.
Welcome back from the break. Today is AU Day, and we are taking a look at the Agenda 2063 of the African Union for the theme this year, ensuring sustainable water availability and safe sanitation systems. And that's what we've been doing here on Metro TV. This is the AU Day mini conference. My name is Desmond Okrekudanzo, moderating this today, and my guest here on the table, Joel Eric Entries, CAS Group Head of Sales, Marketing and Business Development. Also, Sofa Kujoji is Chief Corporate Communications Officer for the Jospon Group. Ama Ofori Entries, Executive Secretary of the Environmental Service Providers Association, ESPA. Emma Adjoa Apiao Seduya is Director, Communications and Corporate Affairs, Zoomlion Ghana Limited. On my right, Cassandra Wallace is the Director of International Collaborations and Partnerships at South Shore University, formerly known as Dominion University College. And Ya Atahin, who gave us a presentation, has also joined me here on the table with our studio audience here. We are live on Facebook, so you can join us live on there also. So as Yao has joined us here, let me begin from Yao. So you made a presentation. We've talked about everything. You also talked about the way forward. 2063, as we have all agreed, looks like a very long time to come, but it again shows the depth of work that is needed to be done. Yeah. The work that needs to be done to be able to achieve this Agenda 2063. Practically, I mean, we've talked about everything, but practically, how can we get this done? We had from our special guest, he talked about the laws. We've talked about us as individuals in the community, how we can help with that. Again, as you go on your rounds, what else can we do to be able to achieve this?
Just one word. It's just one word. Now we have the policies, we have the plans, we have the programs, we have the human resource, we have the capacity, we have the, should I say, the enabling environment. The environment is there for us to.
But as I mentioned, we don't have the money like that.
Yes, I mean, that is where I'm coming to.
Okay.
But the word is not financing. The one word that we need to address all our sanitation challenges is prioritization.
Okay.
You don't prioritize. If you don't prioritize, you will not invest. Look, the previous government made free SHS a priority. You know how much went into it. This government has maintained it. It's a priority, but they've added what we call big push. Do you know how much is going into big push? So once you prioritize it, you will finance it. And once you finance it, you will see results. So I think all that we need is to, not to talk, but to prioritize environmental sanitation and waste management. And let me add, improved access to safe drinking water. If you are able to prioritize it, it will be a priority for even citizens. You have to fall in line. But if we don't prioritize and we only talk, we don't invest, we will not get any results.
I've seen
that is the challenge.
And this is even for those of us in the urban areas, as we talk about Accra, talk about Kumasi, the urban centers and all of that. And sometimes when you move across to other areas, in the rural areas, it's terrible. Yeah. It's very terrible looking at some of the schools. In fact, even here in Accra, you can go to some of the schools around this enclave. And you see that, as you mentioned, toilet facilities are not available, not enough water to do all of the things that they've got to keep themselves safe from sicknesses and all of that. So prioritization.
Prioritization. Let's prioritize it. Once we prioritize it, we'll get the results.
Okay, I saw Amma nodding. I mean, you mentioned finances earlier, and he's added prioritization to it. If we prioritize it, we'll find money to make it work.
Prioritization, in addition to my good governance, the leadership role, we also need to get it right. So I think I agree with him. It needs to be prioritized. So once it's done, as we also clearly in his representation, then the impacts cuts across everywhere. What happens? Our nation would now attain the development that we desire. What is going to happen? There will be even jobs for the youth. Productivity increases. So looking at the impacts, indeed, government needs to prioritize the environment and sanitation sector.
For ESPA, you've also taken a lot of backlash. People do complain about some of these things. You've also had your issues with government and all of that. Going forward with this, how we can all effectively make sure that we are fighting, bad sanitation practices from the quarters of ESPA. What's the action?
Again, once I get the opportunity, I always call. Private sector cannot thrive without the support of government. And when it comes to sanitation, it's a shared responsibility.
Right.
Government has a role to play. Citizens have a role to play. Likewise, the service providers. But then we can all be efficient if the right things are done. So this is where we need the push from government, because as private sector, we are putting in a lot of investments. So what if we don't have the laws working? If we do not get the support from governments, that means all that we are doing will not be sustained. But we are talking about sustainability in the sector. How can we be sustained? Right now, looking at the way the sector is, if I have money and you want me to invest in the sanitation sector, I won't. I'd rather send it if I'm using a specialized equipment where I can only use it to collect waste, and I bring in this truck, I don't get any form of support in terms of exemptions and taxes, even with the VAT and what have you. And I can use that same amount to acquire a tipper truck, and I can go into a sand business and get ×3 the profit in investing in sanitation. Why would I invest? A lot of foreigners, a lot of big businesses have come into the country just to invest in our sector. But because of the dynamics where we are not even paid for the right things that if you want to get it right for the solid waste sector, government has to pay us correctly for per tonnage collection from point of generation to the final disposal site. If you cannot do any business where you'll be running losses and you still continue to invest. So this is where we are calling on government that let's have a framework that works for the private sector so that we can get a lot more people joining and then investing in the sector. So I've given you a good example why I would no longer continue this business if indeed government does not come in with the right framework in terms of private sector injection its finances in the sanitation.
I thought there was an engagement with the government when there was a strike action that was supposed to happen.
Yes, government has worked with us.
Okay.
They've paid some of the monies, I must admit. So government is doing a good job. By going forward, government can do better to prioritize our sector, commit to it, and then let us have the service provided paid for their service on timely. One, it has to be timely. It has to be restructured so that they pay for the correct tonnage per collection, and then the payment should be such that it can sustain the sector. If you take a landfills management, for instance, it's capital intensive, it's very expensive. So if a private sector would have to manage a landfill for a year or two before government comes in to support that private entity, then it's not sustainable and it cannot work. So this is where we are calling on government to make sure that when it comes to private sector support, private sector, we all agree that is the engine of growth. There are a lot of advantages there. We've employed over 250, even when you take the value chain, just from point of generation to treatment, if it is done properly. Currently, we are all going circular economy, green jobs, green innovation. How can this be attained? This can be attained if indeed we have a commitment of government to support our sector. What will happen? We can even create over 250 million jobs just from the informal sector alone. Look, collecting rubbish from their households. What will happen even if we add segregation? And then we come to talk of treatment. So this is a vibrant sector that governments need to pay attention. So I think I now agree with my brother saying governments need to prioritize our sector so that we can get it right this time around.
Thank you very much for your inputs there. I now move on to Zoomlion. And I know you've been very passionate about this. You talk about 2 decades of work of Zoomlion in the country and what you've been doing. Again, you call for the laws to work, the attitudes to change. Is this something that you believe could be attained? Because really, for all of us here, when COVID came, we were all washing our hands. Really, everybody was doing it, but just out of fear, right? But just when COVID went away, well, I don't remember, going out to any public place, a bank or wherever, and washing my hands. We've stopped doing all of those things. So the attitudinal part is a big, big challenge. From your quarters at Zoomlion, I know you're engaging kids in school and all of that to be able to help reorient them. What's the way forward?
Thank you very much. And I will come back to the prioritization because we at Zoomlion have chosen, we are resolved to deal with the sanitation. And that is why you see us doing what we do over and over again. We have deliberately set up a unit that deals with the children so that we can inculcate best practices into them, trusting that by the time they are age, they wouldn't be damaged like we are in terms of waste sanitation handling. Okay, so if we are resolved, and for that matter, the larger picture, contractors are resolved to do their job, then the good governance theory that AMA is pushing should come in place. Because when the contractors are resolved to do their work, then government should also prioritize the payment. It shouldn't be like, oh, we meet and discuss, and then we pay for a while, and then we hold on. I'll give you a case in sight. In Greater Kumasi, as we speak, their landfill is full and overflowing. I saw that, I think, 2 months ago. There is a huge recycling compost plant and wastewater treatment plant sitting in Kumasi called KCAP. And I understand that they have worked and have not been paid for over 2 years. So if they were good to be working very well now, then the waste would have been diverted from the landfill to that place freely, and there will be no effect. But today, they are unable to function properly because of lack of payment. So we say that prioritization is key. And another example, this NASA Artemis 2 thing. How much was invested into it? USD. I cannot count that money in Ghana. And it took them 5 years deliberate preparation and planning to do that. They are intentional about whatever they needed from that project. And I believe that the ripples will fall on us someday. And that is when they will benefit from the investment.
Right.
Can we say that we are intentional about handling sanitation in If we were, we wouldn't see what we are talking about now. So I am also hammering on the prioritization that Zoomlion is resolute to do sanitation. And we cannot do it alone. We do it with the individuals, we do it with government. So government should also be intentional about the sanitation thing and prioritize. When we are intentional, then we can bridge the gap between the economic growth and economic development. Otherwise, we will be here and pretending we are managing sanitation, and our people will be spending over 2 billion cedis on managing communicable and parasitic diseases.
Yes.
So please, let us be intentional as individuals, as contractors, as government, and most importantly, please, government, prioritize. Thank you.
Right, so that's the call, prioritization. Government needs to do that. And we are all at risk, even with the water situation. Been following the MD for the Ghana Water Company, Adam Mutawakili, and he's been talking about how much the need to be able to clear up the water bodies that have been polluted for it to be able to run through our taps. Some treatment plants were shut down because there was not enough money to get them running due to the devastating nature of, or how deteriorated the water bodies have become due to illegal mining, or galamsey as we call it. So it's a very big problem that we have on our hands. I was calculating 2063 from now, it's 37 years time. From that time, all the kids who came to perform here would have been, if they are 10, they should be 47, close to 50. So at that point, if nothing changes, we'll have yet another newspaper from 50 years ago in 2026 that poor sanitation threatening lives in Accra, and 2026, it's the same thing. To you, Madam Wallace, you're in the schools, for you, the people in your school are adults already, and it's one thing that we need to also get across to them. But you've shared your experience as someone who's lived outside the country and coming into the country and seeing a few things here. Just your thoughts about what we've said here, and of course, what you suggest would be the way forward.
Well, the prioritizing is what's sticking out to me. Priority. I am going to challenge every school from grammar to university to start a sanitation committee, because if we don't start somewhere, then we can't expect change. So as for South Shore University College, formerly known as Dominion University College, I'm going to challenge our SRC, Student Council, to start add another program to their agenda to prioritize in keeping the community clean. Have a community day where they just go around and just collect rubbish, trash, as we call it, and try to beautify our communities. And what I've heard so far, I'm still stuck on the victimization. Everybody wants somebody else to do the job for them. And I believe if our leaders get together and make it possible for the communities to trust the process. And that's another issue. Most people don't trust the process because they've been let down so many times. So we have to change our minds regardless of what we see, of what we've heard, change our minds and say, I want my community to be a beautiful community. I want my children to grow up in a beautiful, clean environment as much as possible. So it starts with us. And again, I do believe that if the schools, churches, youth organizations, start with the children. Start with the children because the children have the biggest influence on the adults. And if the children are saying, no, mom, no, dad, granny, whatever, don't do that, put it here, put it there, it will become a chain reaction and everyone will begin to start having a clean environment mentality. Okay. And, I believe that it starts with children. It starts with the children. And I believe that if everybody puts together some type of sanitation committee in their community, start small. You don't have to be huge. Just start small, and other people will see it and become a chain reaction. because everybody wants to be seen. You know, oh, they're cleaning up, you know, they're doing this. You know, they're not just out there having fun, but they also enjoying cleaning up, picking up the trash and doing these things. They're doing it joyfully. But I believe if it's seen, people have to see this, not just talk about it. It has to be implemented. They have to actually do it in order for this chain reaction to take place. So again, I do charge all of the schools and youth programs and universities and youth churches and ministries to start a sanitation committee and start there. And I believe that it will become an infectious, positive chain reaction
across
in Ghana.
Right. Thank you very much, Cassandra Wallace. Jointry, final thoughts again?
Yes, so I think my panelists have said a lot, or the fellow panelists have said a lot. I think it boils down to prioritizing and priority, just like has been said. I feel like we should not wait till all our resources have been completely destroyed before we try to take action. We need to take action now. We need to prioritize now so we can start working towards the goal of the 2063 agenda. I think also not just the children, but the youth and even most of the professionals that are even in the system need to also educate themselves. Because we seem to think we all know what it is or how it's supposed to be done. But the truth of the matter is most people don't even understand what the SDG goals are. They don't understand the agenda even the AU is trying to push or trying to get out there. So I think we should all just try and educate ourselves on whatever it is that is happening and try and get involved in the problem.
Yeah.
And then we can better understand how to resolve it and solve it.
All right, thank you very much. Or you'll be in traffic and then you see someone in a very nice car, open the car or roll down the window and just has the trash and throws it like that. And you're thinking this is someone who should know better. And that's another problem that we have on our hands. I'm going to have Mrs. Gomez also speak and Madam Kudoji finally, because she has a school. So I'm asking her what she's doing so that the younger ones can also understand what we're talking about here. And then, well, the audience also, another Kweku that would also give us one or two before we wrap it up. Yeah, Mrs. Gomez.
Yes. Sanitation is a huge thing, as we have already established. Getting rid of it and making our life better is key. Our children, you saw them, we have them from early childhood through to 14, 15 years. And it's a very, very good pack. It's a very good stage. They are our seeds for the future. So we're doing everything at Queen's International to ensure that they grow the habit and keep the habit. We segregate our waste. We have our plastic containers, our paper containers, our organic containers, and we recycle them. We have the plastics being taken away, and we have a little site where the children actually are doing natural breeding of animals and crops. So the organic waste goes back to this place, which nurtures and fertilizes the land and field and feeds the animals. But one thing that comes back through this long conversation today, we're using COVID as an example. The practices of ensuring that we stay safe. At that time, we were scared because there was a consequence. There was something brutal that we were all so much afraid of. And to avoid that, we kept a practice. We did what we should do, and we kept it running until we have realized that it is over. And when it was over, the habit slowly died. The key thing here is consistency, how we ensure that our practices just grow and grow and grow until it becomes a habit that we can never shake off. So you're all doing very well. The companies that are dealing with sanitation, it's human attitude. Once I'm sure we change that attitude and our behavior become better, we would all feel more safe and healthier in our communities.
Right, thank you very much. Mrs. Rose Gomez, she is the proprietor of Queen's International School, East Legon. Thank you very much. Madam Sophia Kudoji.
Thank you so much. So I just want to say that, yes, Agenda 2063, it is not a distant dream. It is a deadline. And every drain we clear, every liter of wastewater we treat, every young African that we put to work in this space, we are bringing that deadline closer. At the Just Point Group of Companies, we have, by the grace of God, spearheaded this agenda of making sure that our environment is clean. Indeed, if we prioritize the idea of sanitation and bring sanitation to the forefront or the front burner of every conversation and realize that it is actually an enabler, as Mr. Atta Ahin said, as it's an enabler for economic development, then in every economic development conversation, we would want sanitation to be at the center of it, and then be ready to fund it as is required and give it the necessary attention that it requires to be able to build it. I mean, we have built infrastructure. How are we maintaining it? What resources are we getting to maintain it? Are we going to leave it as the usual Ghanaian thing, as, oh, we have maintenance culture thing? Can't we change it? I think it's a deliberate, intentional, prioritization that will move us to the level where we want to get to and meet that deadline. It's not a dream, it's a deadline. 2063 will soon be here. And Des, you'll be here.
Right. It's not a dream, it's a deadline. That's for all of us. So we need to work right now at it. So let's take some thoughts from our audience now, Chris Sekwetia.
All right, so together with my team, this is what we came up with. We think that environmental protection and also climate change should be made compulsory in all schools. I mean, this way, we're talking about attitudes. This way, we are able to imbibe the habits of how we're supposed to keep our environment clean. And that way, we grow knowing that this is what we have to do to make sure that our environment is clean so that we can also grow from there. So this is coming from all of us.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see there was some group work happening there.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, so Ike is going to give us the final one.
So as a journalist, I also believe that media organizations should prioritize sanitation issues in news coverage. I believe the same level of attention that is given to political issues should be given to sanitation issues as well. And I think here at Metro TV, the news department, we are doing that already, and we are committed to doing more.
Okay.
Thank you.
Right, thank you very much, Ikea Bibio. Please, a round of applause for everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being a part of this media conference. Yeah,
just a small
quick
one.
one.
I mean, finally, I think I want to take this opportunity to commend Metro Television and the Ignite Media for consistently placing sanitation on the front burner. I think it's very, very commendable. If we can all do that, we will quickly reawaken the nation's sanitation conscience. That is what we need to do. Once we are able to reawaken the nation's sanitation conscience, I think that the prioritization, the financing, everything will fall in place. Finally, I think that going forward, we need to ensure that everybody comes, on board. Everybody comes on board. When we say we should prioritize environmental sanitation, it is not just for prioritization's sake. One, you prioritize and there is return on investment. Because once we invest in sanitation, environmental sanitation, what you get is increased productivity. You also get reduced illnesses. You get reduced healthcare costs. You get job creation. But mind you, this is a multi-million-dollar industry that we are playing with. If we prioritize it and we pay attention to it, we will be able to create jobs and jobs and jobs for the youth. That is my final comment.
Right, thank you very much. Yao Atahin is WASH specialist with World Vision International, former chair of CONIWAS. Thank you so much for being a part of this. So just to wrap everything up, we're going to take our closing remarks. But once again, let me thank Joe Eric Antwi, his group head, CAS, for head of sales, his head of sales, marketing, and business development. Joe, thank you very much for coming. Sophia Kujo, Chief Corporate Communications Officer, Jospon Group, thank you very much. And Elder Albertina was with her. Then, of course, to Mrs. Rose Gomez, thank you so much for coming. I'm Alfori Antwi, Executive Secretary for the Environmental Service Providers Association, ESPA. Thank you very much for coming, Madam Antwi. Emma Adjoa Apia Osei-Dua is Director of Communications and Corporate Affairs, Zoomlion and Ghana Limited. Thank you very much for coming. Let's appreciate all of them, please. Thank you very much for coming. Madam Cassandra Wallace is Director of Partnerships and International Collaboration at South Shore University. Thank you for coming. And also, one of our special guests of honor, the Deputy Minister for Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, Honorable Richard Na Odole Sowa. And to you, our audience, thank you so much for a round of applause for yourselves for staying through. And if you're watching from home, you can clap for yourself. Thank you so much for being a part of the program. We'll take the closing remarks from the team here at Ignite Media. My two bosses are joining me here, so we can
done
have
a very
this.
good job.
Right, and to the whole team, right? But anyway, Kwesi Free and Dennis Gla. Today we've had the AU Day. Very important conversation on water sustainability with this theme for Agenda 2063, and we've done it. Anything you want to say to
It's exciting for us here at Metro TV. In fact, Ignite Media Group, IMG. So we are made up of 4 major platforms. Those of you who are watching us, we are Metro TV, we are Original TV, we are Original FM, and then Metro Digital. One of our major brand identities, as my boss has stated earlier, is the entire wash industry. So the water, sanitation, and hygiene. And we believe that advocacy, as has been established by all the speakers this afternoon, is very key. You remember the presentation by Doc. I was watching it, listening to it, and I remember the adverts. It was exciting for me, and the advocacy to bring people's minds to having clean cities, having clean communities, having clean environment, which in effect goes to prevent diseases, is what one of the key things that we stand for as a media house and a media platform. And that is why we have, for example, the Clean Report, which is a TV program we have every Friday, 2 p.m. That is why we are having this mini conference. Let me take the opportunity to announce also that coming towards the end of July, we are going to have a major conference. We are planning lots of things around the wash sector, the sanitation sector, the environment sector, and we are happy. We are under the auspices of the Jospon group of companies, which is primarily into the sanitation industry. So we have a strong backing. We are partners with Zoomlion. We are partners with lots of companies. We are running to ESPA all the time. And it is not just Zoomlion or Jospon. There are other companies that we are dealing with. There is Yakura, there is Tidy Up, there is all of these sanitation companies. So it's the entire industry. And that's how come we saw the Deputy Minister of Local Government also championing the agenda of sanitation. So we are happy. In fact, we are happy about the conversations this afternoon. We are happy about the direction of the conversations, and I'm sure that the Minister has taken bits and pieces of the points that have been raised. I'm sure that other stakeholders who are watching us have also taken, we are also taking the points, especially on the points of advocacy, to run with. And we can promise everybody that you would see anything. And it's also a clarion call to everyone. Those of you who have floods running in your area, somebody throwing some dirt around your community, call on us. Metro TV, our news team, Ikuya is here. We'll be running to you to cover the story, and we'll make sure that we support the agenda of clean environment and sanitation in the country.
Right. Thank you very much to you. Dennis,
So, Kwesi, you spoke about clean cities.
Yeah.
Desmond, do you know the latest description of Accra?
Okay.
It's called NCC.
NCC.
So whilst we have Newcastle City out there, we have now New Cattle City in Accra. Accra is being described as the new cattle city. You see cattle all over the place. Now, in today's conversation, I heard the thing about 2063 is so far. No. The United Nations Sustainable Development Goal 6 talks about availability of water and sanitation by the year 2030.
Yes.
So let's start working on that. Today's event is not going to be a one-off. We are introducing the Metro series. Every month we will deal with this issue and we will make sure that together we get Ghana clean.
All right. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Right. And a round of applause for
again, a special thank you. We know you've done that already. We know you've done that already, but a special thank you to our let's say mother, the Jospon Group of companies. A special thank you to our partner Zoom Lion. A special thank you to the overall, the Environmental Service Providers Association. A special thank you to World Vision. A special thank you to people from the United States of America, right? And the Queens and everybody that has supported this program. We promise that we'll keep it running, as my colleague said, monthly and then quarterly.
Right. Thank you very much, Kusifri and Dennis.
So we can run away now.
Yes, you can. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. With the cattle issue, I know it's come up from the park sitting just on this stretch. Kaukudi, you see, anyway, we'll definitely have to deal with that. At this point, we're going to take the closing prayer, and it's going to be the Islamic prayer. Mustafa Mohammed, also known as Tornado, will be giving us the Islamic closing prayer. And so, right, Tornado, please take us away.
Shall we pray? Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Oh Allah, we thank you for gathering us all today in peace, knowledge, and unity. We are grateful for the discussions, ideas, and wisdom shared throughout this conference. Oh Allah, bless everyone present here. Grant us our beneficial knowledge, sincerity in our actions, and success in all that is good. Strengthen the bond of brotherhood, cooperation, and understanding among us. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Malik yawmiddin. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين.
Ameen. Okay, thank you very much, Tornado. So to our kids who came in, thank you so much. We appreciate the time to go through all of this and come here today. God's Glory School Complex, Pokwase, thank you so much. And also Queen's International School. So 2026 is a call to action for safe water and sanitation to drive Africa's development agenda, assuring sustainable water availability and safe sanitation systems to achieve the goals of Agenda 2026. This is from the African Union, and this is the AU Day Mini Conference on Water and Sanitation here on Metro TV. Many thanks for being a part of this. We appreciate you so much. And as we've mentioned, in the coming years, or in the coming months, actually, this year, there'll be a lot more that we'll be doing. Special thanks to the whole team that put this together, from management to technical to creative departments to everybody behind the scenes. You wouldn't see them, but everybody, a lot of people made this possible. Thank you guys so much for being a part of today's program. My name is Desmond Okrekudanso, and for more news, log on to our website, www.metrotvonline.com, and do well to follow us across our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, X, and all of that. For now, we're done. Thank you so much for being a part of this special program. Xavier the trumpeter would wrap it all up for us. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of our programs. Bye-bye.
In 1963, heads of state of 32 independent African states, as well as representatives from African liberation movements, met in Addis Ababa in Ethiopia to chart the way forward for a unified approach in the fight for complete independence and freedom of African people from the yokes of imperialism, colonialism, and apartheid. The desire for unity in action culminated in the historic creation of Africa's first multilateral organization, the Organization of African Unity, the OAU, and the signing of the OAU Charter on the 25th of May 1963, celebrated to this day as Africa Day. The OAU was the manifestation of the vision of an Africa that was united, free, and in control of its own destiny. Guided by the OAU Charter, the organization undertook to support liberation movements and to accelerate Africa's journey to complete independence, while advocating for increased economic, social, and cultural cooperation and unity among African countries, which was enshrined in charters and treaties that advocated for collective action if Africa was to achieve its development goals, such as the treaty establishing the African Economic Community, popularly referred to as the Abuja Treaty. The drive towards increased regional cooperation and integration of African states to drive Africa's growth and economic development resulted in the decision on the 9th of September 1999 to transform the OAU into the African Union. The African Union was launched in July 2002 in Durban, South Africa, with the vision for an integrated, prosperous, and peaceful Africa, driven by its own citizens and representing a dynamic force in the global arena. To realize its vision, the African Union adopted a development framework for the continent, Agenda 2063, as the foundation for delivering Africa's long-term socio-economic transformation that benefits all Africans, and encapsulated in the 7 aspirations of Agenda 2063 and key continental flagship projects that will transform the continent. Since its formation, the African Union has made great strides in the areas of peace and security, gender, trade, agriculture, the creation of Pan-African institutions, youth employment, health, education, and many others. To ensure that the African Union is best placed to serve the continent, the organization has embarked on further transformation through the institutional reforms in order to accelerate, reinforce, and ensure service delivery to the African citizenry by focusing on key priorities with continental scope: realigning African Union institutions, connecting the African Union to its citizens, financing the African Union sustainably and with the full ownership of the member states, managing the business of the African Union effectively and efficiently at both the political and operational levels, to ensure that ultimately we achieve the vision for the Africa we want.
Finding the ideal property shouldn't be a daunting task. At MNC Properties, We believe everyone deserves a place to call home. That's why we specialize in providing affordable housing options under our flagship project, Fresh Property Joy, specifically designed for low and medium income earners. Our range of customizable homes includes 2 and 3 bedroom standard and executive options, all meticulously crafted using innovative interlocking brick technology. We understand the importance of simplicity and convenience in the acquisition process. That's why we have designed our procedures to be straightforward and hassle-free, offering flexible payment options tailored to your individual needs. In addition to our affordable homes, we proudly offer litigation-free lands for sale in vibrant and upscale communities that present the perfect opportunity to build your dream home. We are committed to making affordable housing a reality, providing you with the joy of owning a home that meets your budgets and aspirations. Whether you're looking to buy, rent, or invest, we've got you covered. Our service team is ready to assist you on 030-255-1917. MNC Properties.
In my line of work, a confident smile is everything. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste keeps me on top of my game and ensures my smile is always radiant and bright.
With the tiring nature of my job, we spend several hours under the scorching sun. To keep our teeth white and our breath fresh all the time, we use none other than Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. You're on a Kessie and in a kit one.
Samayo Kendini, who be here, Semetra Sapapadia to Amame Manfo, Kel Charcoal's natural ingredients, and a bomb is several buying, a man is swing, and a sansu mama hotoso, a will bedroom.
Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. Choose Kel Charcoal Toothpaste for anti-cavity, whiter teeth, and fresher breath all day. Available in 80 gram and 150 gram. Grab yours today.
Kel, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
Grab your bottle and unleash the taste of Storm Energy Drink. A bold flavor, a big attitude. Feel the vibe, own the moment. It's your time to be different. Storm Energy Drink, make your mark.
Excessive drinking can be detrimental to health. Not recommended for persons under 18 years, lactating mothers, pregnant women, and people sensitive to caffeine. This advert is FDA approved.
Launching BSc Development Economics at the Ghana Christian University College. Study a job-ready university program, BSc Development Economics at the Ghana Christian University College. Job is ready for graduates who possess degrees and certificates in BSc Development Economics, professional certificate in Theoeconomy, certificate in Theoeconomy with business. Enroll at the Department of Theology and Economics at the Ghana Christian University College, Amrahia, Adenta Dodua Road, Accra. Full bursary is available for BSc Development Economics graduates to study master's program at the State University in South Africa. Enroll now. Take advantage of this opportunity to join elite professionals in economics. Call 0557-351-090 or 0575-633-307 or 030-296-0542. WhatsApp us on 0557-351-090 or you can get in touch online on www.theoeconomy.edu.gh. Powered by the Center for Theology and Economics, CTEC.
Metro TV, insightful and inspiring moments.
In a time where noise is loud, but clarity is rare, one program is changing the conversation. Welcome to the Intelligence Desk. This is not a talk show. This is a working studio. Each week, we break down the biggest national and global issues from AI and digital transformation to trade, jobs, governance, and national competitiveness, and turn complexity into practical, usable knowledge. Sharp questions, structured thinking, real solutions built live on air. with resident resource person Dr. David King Boyson. The show moves beyond commentary, designing frameworks, mapping strategies, and holding decision makers accountable. From the big issue briefing to the strategy lab to the innovation and opportunity board, every episode delivers tools you can use. If you care about Ghana's future, if you value clarity over chaos, if you believe leadership requires intelligence, then this is your desk. The Intelligence Desk, hosted by RSM Kofi Dole Lawson on Metro TV, where Ghana thinks forward.
Of Ghana's was classified as fair.
This is Fair Generation Show, the program for smart children.
Fair Generation! Children, are you ready?
From finding your dream home to building a legacy for your family, the Homeowner Show has been your trusted guide.
How sure are you what you are getting is the right land? And it has to do with searches, land commission, checking social planning authority, checking everything to make sure that what you are buying is not a problem or a challenge-prone transaction.
The stress of even not owning a house and constantly coughing up to rent is a big issue.
Join me, Hannah Atiasi, and my distinguished panelists as we delve into exciting conversations.
Season 3 of the Homeowner Show, every Saturday at 6 p.m., only on Metro TV. Don't just own a house, build a legacy for your family.
Hi, my name is Ochame Kwame, the rap doctor, and all I'm saying is during this World Cup, make Metro TV, Original TV, and Original FM your official amazing production houses to watch all your tidbits, your behind the scenes, and get authentic news about the Black Stars and all the World Cup and enjoy. Tune in. Ochame Kwame, salute.
Catch every moment loud and live on Metro TV, Original TV, and Original 101.9 FM.
Can I ask you something?
Yes. Go on.
Can you stay away from Patrick?
Sally, baby. You want to go?
Abiku, I don't speak French.
Hey, that boy had the audacity, the effrontery. Have you eaten?
Sometimes I wonder if really he's your son.
Mr. Gray is calling you.
Jesus.
Once your friends are busy learning, you are here watching series.
I don't want to destroy the love I have for you. Wait.
Since when do you start having this affection for her? Oh, okay. See, your head like silver. You want Nora.
But how?
My legs no more. Put in your power. Put in my joke power. Oh yeah.
Nora, where were you last night?
Daddy, dressed like this, of course.
So why did you call this morning?
In a time where noise is loud, but clarity is rare, one program is changing the conversation. Welcome to the Intelligence Desk. This is not a talk show. This is a working studio. Each week, we break down the biggest national and global issues from AI and digital transformation to trade, jobs, governance, and national competitiveness, and turn complexity into practical, usable knowledge. Sharp questions, structured thinking, real solutions built live on air. With resident resource person Dr. David King Boyson, the show moves beyond commentary, designing frameworks, mapping strategies, and holding decision makers accountable. From the big issue briefing to the strategy lab to the innovation and opportunity board, every episode delivers tools you can use. If you care about Ghana's future, if you value clarity over chaos, if you believe leadership requires intelligence, then this is your desk. The Intelligence Desk, hosted by RSM Kofi Dole Lawson on Metro TV, where Ghana thinks forward. Your world, your stories, your moment.
Welcome to Metro TV.
From breaking news to uncovering the facts of the story. Breathtaking events, mouth-watering trends, and unstoppable entertainment, all in one place. From the banks and corporate institutions to shows that tell you all about the economy. Checking your pulse and keeping a steady heartbeat. Stories of love to blockbuster drama. From crazy fans and hats-pounding sports, we bring you shows and events the whole family loves. This is Metro TV, where every moment matters. Metro TV, insightful and inspiring moments.
Every Thursday morning, the spirit of the school come alive. From the marching bands to the dining halls, the fear and the panic stories, the convoys to old students' pride, to unforgettable homecoming moments. Metro TV brings you the school's homecoming show live. Relive the glory, celebrate the legacies, reconnect with the memories that shape legends like you. The celebrations, the anniversaries, the homecoming activities, and the legacy projects that you embark in your school. The Metro TV School's Homecoming Show comes to you every Thursday from 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. live on Metro TV. This is the School's Homecoming Show live on Metro TV.
The world is coming to North America. 48 teams, 16 cities, 104 games, 3 nations, 1 dream. The 2026 FIFA World Cup is here. Catch every moment loud and live on Metro TV, Original TV, and Original 101.9 FM.
From finding your dream home to building a legacy for your family, the Homeowner Show has been your trusted guide.
How sure are you what you're getting is the right land? And it has to do with searches, land commission, checking social, planning, authority, checking everything to make sure that what you are buying is not a problem or a challenge-prone, transaction.
The stress of even not owning a house and constantly coughing up to rent is a big issue.
Join me, Hannah Atiasi, and my distinguished panelists as we delve into exciting conversations.
Season 3 of The Homeowner Show, every Saturday at 6 p.m., only on Metro TV. Don't just own a house, build a legacy for your family.
Kwaba Samuel of Custom Looks, the maker of the fan jersey, and make sure you are watching the World Cup on Metro TV!
Catch every moment loud and live on Metro TV, Original TV, and Original 101.9 FM.
Hi, my name is Ochame Kwame, the rap doctor, and all I'm saying is, during this World Cup, make Metro TV, Original TV, and Original FM your official amazing production houses to watch all your tidbits, your behind the scenes, and get authentic news about the Black Stars and all the World Cup, and enjoy. Tune in. Ochame Kwame, salute.
Catch every moment loud and live on Metro TV, Original TV, and Original 101.9 FM.
Go Black Stars, go all the way till the end, to victory. We'll keep on cheering you until you have the trophy in your hands. Go Black Stars all the way. Football, it unites all of us. There is no escape from the medium of football. It unites all Ghanaian, it unites all Africa. And this time we are praying for Africa to make an impact, starting with Ghana leading the way. So watch it.